want you to know you're not alone. Okay? And the mail keeps coming. It won't stop. Kids from all over the world are writing to you. They need your help. You're the only one who can do it. Feel their hope. Feel their strength.
I feel them.
I am so fucking digi-jazzed to be talking. I'm like, listen, okay.
Yep.
Listen.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to do this topic since we did the last one. Like, that was like a month ago at this point. Like, I knew we were going to do a follow-up. So I decided to wait until like 4 days ago to even start looking at like any of the stuff, which includes just like a full series of a full anime. And I got through all of it. And yesterday I was like watching it, and then it just like switched. It just like automatically went to the next series, and I was like, oh, it's done. Like I got through it so hard, I just like didn't even realize it was over.
That also tells you a little bit about the writing of the show. If it was like done,
the ending was very stupid. I don't even want to talk about the ending, but we will a little bit. But I'm still focused on the original kind of mission statement of what we're gonna do. But let's do like an intro. I have 4 beverages right now.
Okay.
And I'm kind of having like choicing, like I don't know which one to drink. I guess I'll drink this one. It has caffeine in it.
Choice paralysis. All right.
So I'll finish this, and then I'll only have 3 beverages.
There you go.
I'm riled. I'm ready to go. Like, listen, guys, I am filled with digi knowledge. I am like, I have ruined Lizzie's life. She can't go anywhere without me just being like, Digimon.
Oh, you meant because
Digimon.
of the Digimon thing. I see.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I thought you meant of like,
Right.
like I already, go ahead.
Just like being engaged to her and then like having her as my wife, like that would ruin her life. No.
Yeah.
It is like she was just like sitting next to me, like drawing, doing her own stuff, and I was just like, change it to digital champions. And she had her headphones in, and she like took her headphones out. And she's like, did you say something to me? And I was like, you rule the digital world. And she looked at me so disappointed. She was like, oh, you're talking about Digimon. And she just put her headphones back in and went back to doing what she was doing. She was like ready to engage with me on like a human level. And I was just shouting Digimon stuff at her.
A digital level even. But anyway, so welcome to The Lore You Know, a podcast where some friends dive into the fantastical and often convoluted lore of media that we grew up with and love, that then consumes our entire lives and affects our loved ones. And here to bring you the mostly correct facts about made-up things this week are me, Fran.
Me, Ethan.
And I am CJ Mon. That's right. I have converted to a completely digital essence, and I have now become a digital monster.
Oh my god.
I knew that when we made an episode about Digimon that the world would embrace it and love it, and that we would get smooches on the cheeks. But I did not realize that I would so quickly be called back into action to come and talk more, to finish the fight even.
I mean,
about
like,
the Digimons?
You asked at the end if anyone wanted you to, and you just didn't think anyone would respond.
And some people
and by some,
said,
he means one.
Yes, that's not true. There were several.
A few.
All right.
Multiple even.
Count me as one of them, CJ. But Also,
I'll be an encouraging friend.
I don't remember what we went over last time.
It was a fever dream, honestly.
we are
I know
gonna
that
have
we
some
covered the
things to talk
Digimon the
about.
movie, and it was like multiple movies in one, and then yeah, about
Yeah.
as far as I got,
Well,
and it was just a
let's
lot.
guys, we get to do viewer engagement. I'm going to thank Brian Robinson on the YouTube comments. Thank you for giving us your strength. And because of you, we have come back now with Digimon 2 Electric Boogaloo.
This is your fault.
This is amazing. All right. I knew a good amount about the first Digimon going into that. I did not know so much about the second Digimon. Remember going back.
Wait, why are there 2 Digimon now? I thought we just had Digimon.
Let's go back a little bit. Do you remember the name of the series we were talking about? The actual show was called Digimon Adventures 01.
Yes.
There's another series. It's called
But we also were
Digimon
talking-
Adventures 02.
But I thought some of those series were okay. So the main framework was that we're talking about the movie,
Right. Okay.
and the movie referenced Digimon Adventures, but I thought it also
Let's-
referenced other series.
Right. Let's restate our mission statement here. We gotta focusing. Our mission today, as every day, is to understand the plot of the movie Digimon : the movie.
Okay, so we're still in the movie.
Oh, we're still in the movie frame.
Okay.
What we know so far is that the beginning of the movie starts out, we have 2 kids who receive their Digi Egg through the computer. They raise their Digimon, who becomes. So I looked it up. They call him Red Agumon and Red Greymon as he digivolves. So he's a different Digimon technically than the regular one. Because again, he's like the size of a building, which is not how Digimon sizes work. It's too big. But in that one, it was different. And it was Tai and Kari, and they got their Digimon, and they fought another Digimon, and then that's the first part of the movie. Guys, I'm really sorry.
Time skip?
That's not the first part of the movie. The first part of the movie is the tie-in with the TV series Angela Anaconda, where she's waiting in line.
Oh, yes, that's right. You're right.
She's waiting in line to see
To go
this
see the
movie that she's in. And she
I
gets
remember this.
angry at another person, and she digivolves into Angelamon. Not Angel Woman. That's a different Digimon. She's Angelamon. And she, that is canonically, if you go to the Wikipedia for the movie, Digimon the movie, it says the first section is the Angela Anaconda tie-in. So that is
Written
the
by
first part of
CJ.
the movie.
Does Angelamon like digivolve to Anacondamon? Is it?
No, she's just big, but she's dressed like Tai from the show.
Okay.
So that's
so
her.
that happens first. Then it's the series.
Then it's
of
then
Kari
that's
and
it's
Tai
the it's
getting
the
their
right.
Agumon.
It's the first, which is the first movie they made, Digimon
Time skip.
Adventure.
Yeah. So time skip.
They are
Past
older.
Digimon Adventures, the series, and there was a movie at the end of the series, and that's where we pick up next in the movie.
Exactly right, Fran.
Okay.
The first,
Got it.
The second section of the movie, Digimon the movie, is based on a movie called Our War Game, Digimon Our War Game,
Of course.
and it is where War Greymon and Metal Garurumon digivolve together to create Omnimon for the first time, and they fight a computer virus Digimon. Which in the original movie, Our War Game, was just a Digimon made of a bunch of viruses that conglomerated together into a Digi Egg.
Okay,
But
I remember this.
But in Digimon the movie, it's based on, there's a guy named Willis who lives in America who tried to make a Digimon, but failed because it got injected with a virus when it was an egg, and then that egg became the evil Digimon. So this is one of the changes. Thank you, Ethan. This is one of the changes that they did to try and arc these 3 stories over together, even though these 3 stories have almost nothing to do with each other. Like very much not contiguous.
Okay. Is that where we ended the first episode?
Yes.
The virus one?
More or less, yeah.
We got to War Greymon. So
And
what
then we had to stop.
I want to go quickly over the kinds of digivolves we have because there's a few to remember.
There's so many.
But remember,
this is so important, Fran.
This is the most important part, Fran. So remember, we have our in training stage Digimon. They're like babies. They can digivolve up to their rookie forms, which is normally what they look like. That's like Agumon and Gabumon and like the little ones that like walk around with them for the most part.
Okay.
We've got just regular digivolving gets you to champion. That's why the song goes digivolve to champion. And then
Digimon are the champion.
Exactly. And then as we follow the song again, it says digivolve to ultimate, which is another thing they can do is digivolve to the ultimate form. They do that using their crests of different spiritual energies that they each have that allows them to go a step further.
Okay.
Greymon and War Greymon, or Metal Greymon and Were Garurumon are special because they can digivolve again to the Mega phase. They do this via warp digivolving, which turns them from their rookie phase immediately into their Mega phase.
Yep, they have like a fast track lane.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they had to do this because the virus Digimon was just so evolved, right?
In the movie, they warp digivolve.
They had to
to get to their powerful
be even
state.
more ultimate because the ultimate forms, because the way power structures work in here in this universe, the Digiverse, is that if you're on a higher echelon of Digivolve, you automatically beat any lower.
Fran, you remember.
So because that one was Mega.
Yes.
Yeah. It was going to beat them no matter what. So they had to figure out how to get to Mega.
That part makes sense to me. That's pretty much how all anime works.
All right. I'm remembering.
That's great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Fran. So War Greymon and Metal Garurumon are at the Mega stage, which is generally the highest stage we have in Digimon Adventure 1. And then
established as
and then as the movie says, a miracle happens and they combine together to create Omnimon, who is still a Mega stage Digimon because there is no Digimon past the Mega stage, but he's just a really strong. So we're gonna get into this now going forward, but at this point we're getting to the point where a lot of Digimon hang out kind of in the Mega stage, and then there are just like different echelon powers within the Mega stage, which is sort of the power creep of anime, generally speaking.
Definitely power creep here. Yeah.
The stages are gonna break down a little bit, but that's kind of where we're at. All right.
Okay.
And
that's what we have established previously.
And we need to now. We're going into Digimon Adventure 2, the series, the TV show. We're gonna put the movie on the back burner for a little while again and let it simmer like a nice pot of rice, and we'll come back to it when it's tender. Okay.
Okay, because Digimon Adventure 2 will help me understand the next part.
Exactly, Fran.
You will literally be incapable of understanding without this.
I'm excited.
But here's the wild part, because to understand the end of the movie, you need to know Digimon Adventure 2. But Digimon Adventure 2, to fully understand that, you need to know what happens in our war game, the previous part of the movie.
But the actual version of the movie,
the actual one, is canon in Digimon Adventure 2. So,
so we have to know the Japanese version now.
The way you are supposed to consume this movie is this.
My God.
You're supposed to watch the Angela Anaconda tie, and you're supposed to laugh. You go, I love that show. And then you're supposed to watch all of Angela Anaconda. Then you come back to this movie and you watch Digimon Adventure, just the first part, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Then you pause the movie when it says 3 years ago or whatever, and then you watch all of Digimon Adventure 1, and then you come back to the movie, you unpause it, and then you watch through it. Then you pause the movie again when it says present day, and then you watch all of Digimon Adventure 2, and then you come back to the movie, and then you finish the movie. So this movie...
Nope. There's another step in there where you watch the Japanese version.
You have to watch the Japanese versions to get the full story.
Yeah.
So you watch the Japanese version of the movie that you're currently watching. Like, that movie's paused in the background. You watch the animated Japanese version that is the subbed version, so that has the actual plot, and then you come back to it.
Okay, got it.
There will come a day, and it will be like 100 years from now, 200 years from now, when historians will argue about this shit like they argue about like translations of like famous old works.
Yeah, like the Bible. Yeah. They will
Yeah.
they will see
I
me
look
as
forward
an
to your Wikipedia
enlightened
entry.
scholar, Ethan. I just watched the Book of Kel. Lizzie had me watch the Book of Kel for St. Patrick's Day, and it's about like this kid who like gets enlightened by nature and writes the Book of Kel, which is like a real life book that's like a Bible. He's like
Oh.
he's like inspired by like spirits of the forest to write this amazing piece of literature. He's called in that mythos, the writers are called illuminators. So I am a Digimon illuminator. I am a story keeper of the lore of Digimon. I understand it now greater than I've ever understood it. And then I was talking to one of our friends in the voice chat, and he was like, "Oh, you're talking about Digimon. I like it when they pendulum digivolve." And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. So I know a lot about it, but I'm still learning. That's off in the distance. We're not going to talk about pendulum digivolving today. Although I did think it was really funny and wanted to say the word pendulum digivolve.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we know where we're at. We kind of
Are we going to Digimon Adventures 02 right now, or are we going to recap the Japanese version of the movie?
No, we can't. We're not ready for the movie yet. Because in the movie, they switch. Omnimon has this big battle with the virus Digimon and defeats him. And then it just...
I'm talking about the Japanese subbed R war game.
That one's fine. So I looked it up. People really dislike the Digimon, the movie. And they're like, wow, they butchered those 3 movies. And I was like looking through the differences. Like people are like listing out the differences. And they took out a lot of like, the kids are looking for a computer to log on to. There's a part where they have to explain that only War Greymon is slowed down by all of the emails, not Metal Garurumon, because Metal Garurumon's on a different server because Matt and TK are in a different place. And I was like, that's bullshit. No one cares about that shit anyway. I'm glad they took that out. You know what?
They spark-noted it.
I'm doubling down. This movie is actually a really good movie. And I'm glad they got rid of all that other garbage that was in the other movies.
I mean, the only question that I have is, did the Japanese version have as much ska? And that's the real quality measure.
They actually might have.
Here's the thing about the Japanese. They're ahead in many ways, but in music, they're always 20 years behind America, which means ska is alive and well in Japan right now. It's a golden age of ska Japan.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. Nobody bothered to check it.
I have heard some great ska music coming out of Japan in recent years. So if we are,
my God,
if Japan is just like catching up with us music wise, I think they're going to like stop doing it soon, which I'm very sad about. But
yeah. We need to wait until we're done with this episode. But afterwards, Fran, if you could find me some Japanese pop idols who do the skank dance, I would love to see that.
You're getting my knowledge confused. I live in K-pop land.
You're the only one I can call friend.
I desperately hope they're using some version of the skank over there.
I do hope they have Visual K ska bands though. So Visual K was a rock genre where it was like just like emo boy looking boys in Japan.
We're never gonna get through this. It's
it's like that, but with ska music.
A Sisyphusian task I've given myself, but I will attempt to push the boulder ever towards the horizon.
Okay, Digimon Adventures 02, because we don't need to understand our war game Japanese canon version.
The canon version is very similar to this one, but the main things we need to know about it are that Omnimon existed for a while.
Yeah.
And that's most of it. And remember,
which is a premise for Adventures 2.
Exactly. Remember, I kind of had this throwaway thing too that I said that like basically this fight was happening on a bunch of computer monitors all over the world at the same time, and a bunch of kids were just like looking at it through the internet.
Yes.
That part is also important.
Okay, that is true.
So keep that in mind as well.
Got it.
Okay.
We are now 3 years after the events of Digimon Adventures 1, which is 1 year after the events of the movie R War game.
Okay.
So the digidestined are 3 years older now. And
they're in high school?
Yeah, and they're all kind of doing their own thing. So Ty's really into like soccer.
The older brother might be in college at this point.
No, the older brother's the same age as everyone else. The younger brother is the one who's young.
Got it.
Compared to everyone else.
School, then.
So
got
he is now the age that the rest of the digidestined were in the original
Right.
Is he
in
the same
original
age as
adventure.
Kari?
He is the same age as Kari.
Got it.
So they're in the same.
Kari, little brother, middle
Kari and
school, everybody
TK.
else high schoolers.
Right. So all of the digidestined are kind of moving on. Mimi went back to America to go learn how to be a fashion designer. I don't know how old Mimi is. She's going to fashion school as a high schooler,
Cool.
whatever.
Dope.
Matt is in a band now. Ty is playing soccer. Izzy's just a computer whiz kid. So they're all like just doing stuff, right? But as Ty is playing soccer, he gets an alert on his digivice. Remember, the digidestined have not been able to get back to the digital world because at the end of Digimon Adventure 1, they sealed the portal to the digital world while it re-healed after Armageddonmon's big
Trying
thing
to like
that
take
they
over
do.
both worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
The end of Digimon 1 is not super canon because they change it during Digimon Adventure 2. So for now, we'll just say they left the digital world and they haven't been able to get back. And we'll leave it at that, even though I don't know if that's the case because they
Just
do
for
seem
reasons.
to go back in movies and stuff. So the digital world is fine. It's still there. They say they can't go back, but they can go back. Don't worry about what happens in the
It's such a
interim.
long walk, you know. It's like
It's a lot. There's things called digiports. We'll get into that. But Ty gets a message on his digivice, which is basically just a beeper. And normally, I guess whenever he would have to like feed Agumon or clean a shit or whatever, he would get that notification.
Right.
But this one is like, Ty, I need your help. That's how Agumon contacts.
Yeah.
Ty, oh, we're getting cyberbullied. Help us, Ty.
Is that actually what it is?
Yeah, they're getting bullied in the cyber realm. So I would
Oh
say
my
it's
goodness
probably
gracious.
cyberbullying.
Okay.
But
They're
no,
getting hassled or actually
there
bullied?
there are a bunch of evil Digimon again, if you can
Oh.
believe.
Amazing.
They are beating up all of the original Digidestined's Digimon. And so Agumon calls out to Tai to come meet him in the digital realm and help him out because he's got to do Digivolve and win the day, etc., etc.
But he can only digivolve with his digidestined.
So the other thing that
Right.
I think happens a lot is that the Digimon can digivolve even if their digidestined aren't there, as long as their digidestined has the digivice. And then they just kind of like ask for the digivice's power wherever it is, and then they digivolve. That happens sometimes. But they still need the
Okay.
digivice to digivolve. So,
In their same realm.
again.
no, just like wherever it is. They just
Again,
need the
this is-
power of that.
This is just anime.
We're
you
already
know?
in the weeds, friend. We can't
Okay,
think.
I'm sorry.
We
I'm
can't think
trying to
about.
understand too much.
We
I
can't think
apologize.
about the old Digidestined. Their time is
have to
coming to a
remember
close.
that we're trying to understand the
Go
movie
back
and the means to the end.
to the beginning. That's in the movie.
Okay.
That's a line from the movie. We didn't talk about
Okay.
that yet.
I believe in you.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
We will later.
All right.
So the amount of foreshadowing in this one is great. We're gonna get there. You know, we're on a Digi journey.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
Digidestined
so excited.
for greatness. I love
Let's
it.
go.
All right.
Okay, so Agumon is like, "Hey, Ty, come here. I need your help."
Exactly.
Okay, we're here.
And Ty shows up in the digital realm. Don't know how he got there, but he's there now. And he's helping out Agumon. He's like, Agumon, you got to digivolve. And he's like, okay, I'll digivolve. But he can't do it. His digi evolution is not working. Something is inhibiting his ability to digivolve. And he's like, well, fuck, because the Digimon we're against are higher than the rookie level. And so there's nothing we can do.
Yep.
So they're running away from these evil Digimon, and they discover a cave. And inside of the cave, there is a strange-looking digi-egg. And inscribed on the digi-egg is the crest of courage. You remember each of them has a different crest. And so Ty's like, I have the crest of courage inside my heart because the actual crest was destroyed, but the crest is inside of you.
Yep.
And so
Friends
he's
you made
like,
along the way. Yeah.
I will claim this digi-egg and see what it does. But when he touches it, a bunch of lights shoot out of it and fly off into space. And he's not able to get the egg. Something is not working.
So you just said, that was weird.
Yeah, he does. He's like, whoa, look at all these lights. Go back now to the real world. We are introduced to 3 new characters. So we already talked about Kari and TK are older now. And they're going to class together. They're in the same class now. There's
Okay.
also Davis. Davis looks a lot like Ty, but his hair's shorter. And he wears goggles.
Okay.
Need a goggle
the
boy.
goggles.
He's a goggle boy.
The goggles are important.
Exactly.
important.
Next, there's Yoli. Yoli is like she's got like pink hair and wears glasses. She's kind of a nerdy type. She's in the computer club. But she is going to be filling the role of girl for the time being.
Okay.
Oh, not Kari.
Always need a girl.
No, Kari's remember Kari's kind of like the cheerleader. She's she's got the crest of light. She's like the inspirer for a lot
Mimi's
of the things.
girl.
Mimi was
plays
girl. Now
Got it.
role of girl is now going to be played by Yoli. Or
Pink
well,
hair. Got
really, well, Mimi's fashion girl, and then there was also girl. It's
Sora?
Cora or Sora.
Sora has the crest of love with
Sora.
Oh, this is so good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So she is girl.
Very
Okay.
important character.
Yeah,
we
she's
all remember
there.
and love that character.
Right. Sora's there. Okay. Yeah, she's whatever. She's around.
Girl,
She's doing as much in this one as she ever did. But so we've got Davis, Yoli, and Cody. Cody's just a little shy boy. I hate Cody. The more I watched the show, the more I hated Cody. He talks like this all the time, guys. We're doomed. Holy fucking shit, we're gonna die. Oh no. That's how he talks all the time, and I despise him. And he's got like a sad backstory, and all I could think of while I was hearing his sad backstory was good. I dislike you. I'm glad your dad is dead.
Oof.
So
Whoa.
I don't like Cody, but
Okay.
he's there too.
He's
But
there too.
the lights that stream out of the digi egg that Ty was interacting with go out into the real world and form into the hands of each of these three children a new digivice. Though this one looks a little bit different than the last one, almost as if it's like a new toy you could buy with your parents' money.
Wow.
An updated version of the digivices. Each of these three new digidestined now have their own digivice that is an upgraded version with new powers. And
New features.
that's
LCD.
literally what they say. It's like, wow, that one has new features. So yeah, you've got it
Oh my
exactly
God.
right.
Oh,
And-
God.
That's rough.
And they call them the D3s. But CJ, aren't they the second digivices? That's right, Ethan. But you have to remember that between the original Digivice and the D3, there was actually another Digivice called the Digivice 01, which is the second Digivice in the series, meaning the D3s are actually the third.
Okay, I like that. I like all of
tracks.
this.
Fantastic.
I love the D3. I love in general when the great hand of destiny is just like, I'm bored with you now, and selects new heroes.
They obviously need something else. Something different, some fresh blood. On top of that, just real quick to recap, we all remember that Gatomon has a tail ring, and the ring is like a magical tail ring that has like holy energy, and that's why she turns into an angel.
Sure.
No, we never brought that up in the last
We
one
never
because
brought that
it's
up, but okay.
it was so not important. But Gatomon
It
has
is
a
important now.
Gatomon has a tail ring. It's a holy ring, and then she loses it at one point because she's being attacked.
There was a magical
Okay.
MacGuffin. It would have messed things up, so they removed the magical MacGuffin.
It's one of the reasons that Gatomon was used by Myotasmon. Remember, he turned her into his evil
Right,
general.
yeah,
He wanted to use the power of her
Oh.
holy ring to like do evil stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
But then she used
Okay.
it for good, and it's like a minor
What?
thing that happens sometimes.
But we have to know about it now.
We have to know that
It-
she doesn't have it. She lost it.
Okay.
Presumably it
Okay.
helped. Presumably it let her digivolve to Angelomon, or helped her
Mhm.
to.
Okay.
So
I believe it.
let's just assume one of its many functions is to help her digivolve to Angelomon.
Okay.
But she lost it.
Sounds great.
So it's gone. Not that it matters, because none of the Digimon seem to be able to digivolve right now.
Okay.
So the 3 new digidestined are chosen. Only Davis goes into the digital world to start. He goes with TK and Kari, because
you're like, hey.
Ty's like, I need help, and so Izzy is there.
My
and
goggles, they're not enough. I need more.
Izzy is like explaining a lot of this to TK and Kari, and then Davis is also there. So he's learning about what the digidestined are. And he's like, oh, you're a digidestined too. You have a digivice. You should go into the digital world. And he's like, oh, okay.
It's like, okay, cool.
Well,
All right.
he likes Kari. So he's kind of just trying to impress Kari. But Kari and TK kind of have a history because they're, they kind of did all this stuff together in the previous series and they've got some chemistry. And so he's trying to impress Kari. But he's like Ty in a lot of ways. He's like the, do first, think later kind of guy.
Impulsive.
Yeah. We're never going to get through this. God damn, there's so many things to talk about. We are on episode 1.
All right, great.
What we know so far is that there are evil Digimon again, but Agumon says they don't seem to have any black gears in them. If you recall, the black gears turned Digimon evil in the previous one. So he's like, there's no black gears on these Digimon. So we don't know.
They're just mean.
So we don't know what's going on. They do seem to be
jerks.
they go out of their way to be like, they would never attack us normally. So they're clearly being possessed by evil in the same way the black gears work, but they don't know what to do because they aren't black gears.
There's not black gears.
There's no black gears.
Propaganda. Propaganda.
But
isn't this like around the time when the internet is just getting a whole lot meaner anyway?
It's true.
Like 2000.
Yeah. You think it's just regular toxicity on the internet that's leaking into the digital realm?
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
I will say they often refer to places as the network instead of the internet, although they sometimes call it the internet because it's right around the time when the word internet was starting to gain circulation.
Actually,
so
the word internet wasn't
right.
A thing
So
for
that's
a while.
So like they called it the digital realm, which is what they still call it, but then they also call like tubes that connect things like the network or something like that.
The World Wide Web.
Right. In the Digimon movie, when Tentomon and Agumon are trying to get on the internet, then Izzy's like, you can use my password. And then to like the password to get on the internet.
Yeah.
So
America Online.
So I don't really know a lot of what they're. Also, his password is prodigious, which is like his catchphrase, which is not a very good password.
It's not a good.
He
it's
just
also
says
not a good catchphrase.
He says it whenever he like
Honestly.
does something.
I mean,
I like it where he's like, that's prodigious.
I like it. As he's gonna grow up and start referring to himself with that, and he's got that energy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is, if anything, this piece of media is just like an artifact of
it's a time
the
capsule.
2000 era.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like,
it's amazing.
The language and everything that was still evolving at that
I'm
point,
just
which is
waiting
wild.
until Izzy starts talking about like, oh, after the financial crash, I've started looking into this Bitcoin stuff.
I was gonna say, I'm going to encode you guys in a layer of encryption and send you to another computer where that will send another layer of encryption over you. It's called onion networking, and it will allow you to get into the dark web.
I see now. It seems
That's where
that
all the Metal Gears came from.
there's some kind of chains on our evil Digimon, some kind of blockish chains.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay. Anyways. Okay.
I don't want to think about Digimon on the blockchain. Yes, we're in. I will say, I brought this up before we started recording. I totally get why people like Digimon so much to start. I understand now. I also totally get why Digimon did not take off the same way the other series like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon did. And I think it is entirely going to lie here within Digimon Adventure 2 as just being way too confusing and weird for children to understand. I'm an adult and I can I'm an adult, I can barely put it together. But if you're a kid, you like stuff is just kind of happening and you're like, that's cool, but you don't know what is happening.
Yeah. Turns out children actually like some story structure.
Yeah, kids love Avatar.
I don't get it. There's all this digital stuff happening and I got my sexual awakening to a fox lady. Like, I don't get it at all.
I don't understand. There's a lot of implication that the evil virus Digimon they fight in the movie is a manifestation of Y2K. which they called the
Oh.
Y2K virus, which is not what Y2K was, but whatever.
I
You
mean,
know.
Who cares?
again, that just makes
I
me
don't
that
care.
much more certain that there is currently a blockchain monster in the Digi world.
It doesn't matter. There's a Digimon series going on right now. There is it's called Digimon Ghost or something like that.
No, Ghost Protocol.
Digimon Ghost game. It is currently being released. I checked the subreddit,
wow.
the Digimon subreddit, and they're all talking about like how's the Digimon Ghost game gonna end? I guess it's close to the end. So
Yeah, I mean, I brought up Digimon as a topic because it's having a very small renaissance.
Yeah, the last
we're
episode's next
contributing to
weekend,
that.
March 26th.
Nice. Oh my god, I can't wait. It gets weird in that one. I read a little bit about it to see how it relates, because every once in a while, like here's the problem with this. This is why I had so much
boy.
issues with it. Every once in a while, on the wiki, it will just say something. Just something innocuous, but that doesn't really make sense. And so then I was like, well, what are they talking about? And then I get sucked into this deep hole of like, well, to know what this is, you have to understand this, and then this Digimon is related to this Digimon, but then they do a bunch of other stuff, and then there's like a trinket or whatever that lets them do all this. So I didn't get too far into that. If people really want to make me watch more Digimon, we can see over there. We'll go Digimon 3, but for now, Digimon 2.
Yeah, the way I understand it, Digimon goes really downhill around the 2 phase, so...
Yes. 2 is still pretty good, I will say. But yeah, then it starts to get a little wild. But I will watch Digimon Tri, which is kind of a remake of... It's not the... Digimon Tri is not the third one, but it's kind of the reboot of the original kids that there's a little bit older, and then they like do more stuff. And it's actually not a series. It's like a 6-part mini movie sequencing,
OAV thing.
and then there's also a movie to capstone it, and that came out pretty recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's all that.
Capitalizing on that Y2K nostalgia.
This is far too much. Get
We're
me back
already in it.
You got to cut it out. Anyway.
So Davis and TK and Kari are in the digital realm, and they find Tai.
Helping out Tai.
Right. And Tai's like, there's this mysterious digi egg that like lit up, and
I poked it.
And like, and Davis is like, oh yeah, that light gave me a digivice. He's like, whoa, maybe they're connected. Which, like, you know, like good reasoning skills. I think that's pretty good. And
he plays soccer. He gets in the head a lot.
Tai and Davis know each other because they played soccer together, which doesn't make sense because they're like 3 grades apart, but whatever.
And that's why they have goggles.
So during one of the fights, Davis's goggles are broken. A Digimon destroys his goggles.
No.
But Tai's like, Davis, you could try to claim this digi egg if you want to. And he's like, all right, I'll do whatever to try and press Kari. And then he picks it up and he's able to claim it. And as he claims the egg, underneath a Digimon starts to form. The like light is glowing and like a Digimon appears. And
is it a baby one?
We now meet, no, this is a rookie level Digimon.
Oh, it just appears as a rookie.
And we meet Vmon, who's just a little boy, a little blue boy with a little horn. He's very cute. I like
a
Vmon.
Babymon, right?
He's a rookie.
No, he says it's a rookie one.
Oh, he goes all the way to Rookiemon.
He's in his rookie phase.
Okay.
He is very mysterious. We don't know where Vmon comes from. Nobody seems to know who Vmon is. But Vmon is like, Davis, you and me should team up. And that egg, that egg that you have there, it's a special egg. I think I could maybe use that. I think I could maybe use that to digivolve. And everyone's like, oh, there's no digivolving right now. We haven't been able to do it. And Davis is like, oh, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. Davis is able to use the power of his D3 and the digi egg that he found in order to armor digivolve Vmon into Flamedramon, the fires of courage.
And that's now a champion rank?
That he's now a champion level. So he's actually able to do stuff.
Cool.
So he kind of saves the area being Flamedramon, but we have a new mechanic. We have armor digivolving, which is when you take a Digimon and you have some sort of digi egg, an armor digi egg, and you do an armor digivolve. Okay. Which allows you to get to the champion stage.
Okay, so it's a different version of champion.
It's still champion, but it's a way to digivolve to champion, and it seems to be different because
Okay.
no one can digivolve regularly, or
Okay.
as the wiki calls it, natural digivolving. This
Oh.
seems to be
Enhanced.
This is different.
Okay, all right, I believe it. You keep going.
Right. So
Uh-huh.
so they save the day. Whatever. They learn about this new armor digivolving,
Okay.
and they also are, still having issues like helping with all these evil things. But Ty's like, you know what? I think you're the new leader of the digidestined. So he gives Davis his goggles.
The
And so now-
passing of the goggles.
That's right. So now Davis is kind of the Ty person, and he
Okay.
has the egg of courage, the digi egg of courage that
How
allows
big are these
Vemon.
eggs?
They're like ostrich eggs.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking like you hug it.
No,
almost,
no,
but I
not
guess it's
that
not
big. Plus, it's
But how do you
it's-
just carry an ostrich egg then?
well, it's
that's really
stored.
inconvenient.
It's stored in his D3,
Oh,
So it's data.
Everything's digital.
right?
Yeah, turned
So
into
it's
bits.
it's
and that's
stored
all.
in
Got it.
it's stored in his digivice.
Got it.
They make a point to bring this up later for some reason that
Well,
the
it's for people
D3s
like me.
the D3s can store digi eggs, which the
Okay, well,
old
that's-
ones don't seem to be able to do
Could
that.
not.
So that's a new
Yeah.
function.
Upgrade.
So of course the other two digidestined have to eventually get into the digital world and claim
Yeah.
their digi eggs, as you might imagine. The other two
Are
also
they-
find digi eggs.
Are they also in the same school as the
Yes.
others?
They're
Okay.
they're in the same class as the younger,
Okay.
the new
School
digidestined.
So they can-
of Destiny.
They were able to find them and stuff. Cool.
Yeah, and they're kind of all friends. They like know each other already.
All right.
One new thing is that the children can come and go from the digital realm as they please. If you remember in the first Digimon, they were stuck in the digital world. They had to
Yeah, they couldn't
find a
get
way
out.
to get out. Using the
You die,
power
you
of
maybe die for real.
using the power of the D3s, they can open a digiport, which is just when they point it at a computer screen, and then it lets them teleport into the digital world and then back out again whenever they want.
Man,
That does seem a bit more convenient. Yeah.
that sounds so much cooler than the other Digivice. I don't even want mine anymore. Mom, I
Exactly.
want this new one.
Exactly. Throw it in the trash. It's worthless garbage now. So the older digidestined will accompany the younger digidestined every once in a while, but they can't
Okay.
open the digiport. So only the new digidestins with their D3 can open digiports to go to the digital world
Okay.
and do stuff there. And then every time they do, you get like a fun little song where it's like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Right, it's-
whoa,
so-
whoa.
We've
This is how they
And they just do that
make
over and
Yeah,
over. It's the
so-
same, like they use that the same way they use the Digivolve thing. So like
Yeah.
all the episode is just like Vemon Armor Digivolve 2. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And there's like coming and going and Digivolving. And so the episodes are now like 80% that.
Okay.
So we're good with that.
It's like 70 before. Now we're.
I will say I was
beautiful.
talking about the show with some other people, and I will say I think the biggest flaw in this show is that there's too much not digivolving and going between worlds. If it was more of that and less about these children talking about stupid things all the time, people would like
Right.
it more. Because I
It's-
really like those sequences. I don't
it's-
think it's like Stockholm thing where I've heard them so much. They're just ingrained in my brain, but every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, let's
right,
go.
yeah. It's the same kind of thing where like Yu-Gi-Oh would just be that much better if they drew more Pot of Greed cards.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed 3 before they banned it.
Right. If every deck could have 10 Pot of Greed cards, like the show would be the greatest of all time.
All right. So the other two digidestined, Yoli and Cody, get also enter the digital world because they can open digiports, and they get their eggs as well. They get an egg containing the
So
the
different
girl
eggs, though.
the 2 different eggs.
Uh-huh.
They get an egg that has the girl crest, the crest of love.
Right.
So Yoli gets that one, and Cody gets the crest of knowledge because he's like the new Izzy,
New Izzy.
even though Izzy's there and he's way smarter and he's like always helping them out with all the technical stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. New
He's
Digimon,
older.
new Digidestin, and they also get 2 Digimon companions to go along with that. So Yoli gets Hawkmon, who's a little Hawkman. and I like him.
Okay.
Hawkmon's great.
Okay,
and-
yeah, and a previous girl was also a bird thing, right?
Yeah, that's Piomon? Piomon?
Paimon.
Paimon.
Paimon?
Paimon.
Paimon.
The other crest of love was also was a birdie.
Right. This one is Hawkmon. He's a hawk,
Yeah.
not just a pink bird. He's red.
Ah.
And we have Armadillomon, who is an armadillo. We like Armadillomon. He's a good guy. I hate that he's Cody's friend, but he's a good little boy.
I am a little sad that for Hawkmon and Armadillomon, they're literally just the animal with Mon at the end.
That is, Fran, we have not even begun to explore the names of things with Mon at the end. We are only at the beginning of this journey. It's gonna get so much better. But
All right.
Hawkmon can digivolve into Halcyon, the wings of love, and Digimon digivolves into, Armadillomon digivolves into Digimon, the drill of power, which is weird because the rest of them say their crest, but he says the drill of power. But don't worry, the people dubbing the anime realize their mistake halfway through the series, and so he goes, the drills of knowledge. I like that one better. He says that.
Oh my god.
He's like, that one makes me sound smarter. So he starts using that instead.
All right,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
we like Armadillomon.
We like Armadillomon and Digimon. Digimon is a drill. Halcyon is like a
House?
bird dog, but her wings are on her head, and her wings are a helmet. Don't worry about it too much. We're not going to describe all the Digimon, but they're cool. We like armor digivolving. They can all armor digivolve. Fantastic.
Okay, and in theory, armor digivolving is different than natural digivolving.
In
So
practice, even.
This, I'm assuming that this will be addressed later, but my question is, if they were able to naturally digivolve, would they still digivolve into the same champion?
No, they would not.
As
It would be
armor
different.
digivolve.
Armor
That's what I
digivolving.
thought.
Armor
Okay.
digivolving is a different path than natural
It's
digivolving.
a different like branch.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly. So we are getting that thing again where Digimon can digivolve to different things depending on the type of digivolving they do.
Okay.
If someone
Which
can
is
make a
which is
program
adding a level of
for this.
confusion that a lot of kids, we're losing like a lot of children now, right? Like in our fan base, the kids are like, I don't know, I don't really get it so much. But dedicated fans will continue on. So this is another great part about this one. Only 3 new digidestined this time around, which is great. There's not 100
So
children
much
to
less
try and
to
figure
hold on
out.
to. Yeah, there was like 8 of them.
We still have to know
right?
the previous Digidestined. They do show up every once in a while and have their Digimon partners, but they can't Digivolve right now anyway. So they're just kind of
Doesn't matter.
helping in like
They're
a
worthless.
mentor capacity.
mentor state. Yeah.
Exactly.
What happens with the 2 crests that don't have a counterpart now? Well, your elements
There's
just
like 5
they
of
weren't
them
really
that
that important.
Well, let's keep going. So again,
Okay.
everyone's getting destroyed. Like everyone's fighting each other. They find out that the source of the evilness is not a black gear, but instead a black collar that are being worn on the Digimon. And this black
When did
collar,
Battle Royale come out?
and this black collar seems to be making them evil. So if they destroy the black collar, they go back to being themselves. Exactly the
Okay.
same as how the gears worked.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So what you're saying is that they looked at the back of their friends and were like, well, there's no black gear coming out. And then like they looked at, there's this big black collar on them and like, I don't know what's happening.
No, in fairness, they figured it out pretty much right away. But I just want to build up
Alright.
a little suspense for you guys. So we have all of our characters now.
Okay.
But as Ethan pointed out, there's a bunch more Digi-Eggs, more crests. What's going on there? So while all of the armored Digivolve Digimon are fighting in a fight, TK and Kari are kind of discovering around, and they find 2 more Digi-Eggs. These ones contain the crests of light and hope. That's Kari and TK's crests
Yeah.
from back when they were the previous Digidestined. But they don't have a new Digivice. They still have the old stank Digivice. But they're like, I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Might as well. We're here, right? So when they touch the Digi-Eggs of hope and light, their Digivices change
Ooh, they upgrade.
into new D3s.
Okay.
So Kari and TK are able to claim the power of the Digi Eggs of Hope and Light.
Nice.
So, this gotta make TK feel like that much worse. He's just like, well, I kind of thought mine would. No, all right.
No, that's no. Ty would be
Ty,
sad,
yeah,
right?
Ty is the
Ty,
one who's
Ty,
sad.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's
Ty
just
had the crest of courage, and now
he's
Davis
just
has
old
it.
now. He's
Yeah,
out
He's
of
got
it.
the goggles on.
You're 15. You're far too old.
Don't worry.
Too old.
Ty's got protagonist energy. He's going to be back later.
All right.
Oh no.
But so this allows Patamon and Gatomon there to remember they usually digivolve into Angemon and Angewomon, but now they have armor Digi Eggs, which allow them to armor Digivolve into 2 new Digimon.
Okay, there it is. Yep.
So they are different than their natural. Patamon digivolves to Pegasusmon, and Gatomon digivolves into Nefertimon, who's like a sphinx. And they are, so you might be asking yourself, CJ, can Digimon fly? And to that I would say, if they have wings, they can fly. And also, if they need to fly, they can also fly. So yeah,
Okay.
Digimon can pretty much just fly whenever, regardless of if they have wings or not. So far, it seems like you need wings to fly. But at this point going forward, every Digimon can just sort of float through the air however they want to.
Again,
So-
just
Okay.
how that again. This is just how anime
Why not?
works.
Why not? You know
Why
what?
not?
Being bound to the ground, too limiting.
It's the Digiverse anyway.
It's true.
It's fine.
It's
There
a
must have been
digital
server
realm.
update. There's
So,
no air.
so for those of you counting at home, we now have 5 crests accounted for
Of the new Digidestined.
of the new Digidestined, and we know that there's 8 from the previous one.
Okay.
So unaccounted for are the crests of friendship, sincerity, and
Did we get purity?
yeah, I guess
Mimi's is purity.
is
according
it
to
really
last week's
purity?
list.
Okay.
According to last
Yeah, I
episode,
guess it's
it
that
does.
one then. All right, great. Again, that one goes to that's a girl one. I didn't, whatever.
Liz, none of these really sound that important. I guess we'll just skip them.
Okay, so we've got all that settled. The armor digivolving is the new digivolving. It's the only way that they can do it because something is
Buy the
stopping
new merch.
something is stopping them from digivolving naturally.
Okay.
The children acutely notice with their keen perception that there are a lot of very tall, completely black obelisks that have sprouted up all over the digital realm. Just
Weird.
sort of like everywhere.
Strange.
And they're
Cool,
like,
cool.
those are
are
weird.
fine.
Those are weird, right?
Probably have nothing to do with this. No problem.
So, during one of the escapades, Gabumon, who's one of the original Digimon, he's Matt's companion, is trying to like help a bunch of Digimon. Again, he's still in his rookie form, so he's just trying to like help the best he can, but he's having issues.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Matt brings a bunch of the new Digidestined in to go help Gabumon and to like figure out what's going on a little bit more, and that's where they encounter this black obelisk. Which we will from now on refer to as a control spire because that is what they're called.
Okay.
So these control
Okay.
spires are everywhere. During a fight with the armored Digivolve Digimon, they are able to crack the black control spire.
Ooh.
And once it is cracked, Gabumon is able to digivolve into Garurumon, which is a natural
Okay.
digi-evolution
Oh.
from one of the original Digidestined.
Yeah.
So Garurumon destroys the black control spire, and they realize that the black control spire is not only preventing the natural digi-evolution of all of the Digimon, but is the way through which the black rings, the collars, are controlling all of the Digimon. So you
Okay.
destroy a control spire, you free all the Digimon, and you can digivolve
Okay.
in that area again.
All right.
Okay.
So they were ahead of their times. This is 5G.
Yeah, exactly. They're destroying the terrible 5G towers. And once you get rid
Yes.
of it, it stops all the harmful effects on the Digimon, and they're able to revert to their natural Digi-evolution state.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So
Caveats. Okay, questions
how
first.
are they able? How are they able? So Gabu. Okay. Maybe I misheard the order,
Yeah.
but Gabumon they were trying to help Gabumon out, and
Yeah.
they noticed they could like put a crack in it, but he was able to digivolve naturally before
No.
the pillar
Ye-
was destroyed.
When it
Well,
was
they
cracked.
they like just they like cracked it. So that's when
Okay.
they like realized that the spire is like causing them to
Okay.
not be able to digivolve, and then they just destroyed it completely, and that freed everybody's
After he
minds from the control
Got
of the
it.
dark rings.
Okay. So then, if there's a dark collar on them, and they're near that spire,
Uh-huh.
like
Then
with
they're under-
5G, are you able to go to around another tower if that collar's still on you and be
Yes.
controlled again?
Yes. Also correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have to
So-
also destroy the collars, or else
Izzy-
they'll still be zombies.
Izzy, being like the smart kid, like makes a program or whatever to chart this out, and it becomes like really video gamey, where he's like, all of these squares represent the different areas of the digital realm. Like he like split it up into grids,
Yep.
and it's like the black
Mhm.
squares have a control spire in them, the white squares don't. So we need to
Okay.
turn all the black squares into white squares and then reclaim
Okay.
the digital realm. So that's
Seems
their
reasonable.
goal. Who
Sounds
are
like a
they?
good plan.
Who are they fighting against, though? There's all these control spires and evil Digimon. Surely there's someone behind the scenes. Now, this is another reason I think that this series does not work so good. This series has a real bad case of there's actually a person behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is whenever they discover the person behind the scenes, there's always another behind the scenes
Yeah,
where it's
of course
actually a
there is.
greater evil was lurking in the
Yeah.
shadows.
Yeah.
What's
That's how
that
plot
behind
twists
that? A more shadowy greater evil behind that shadow, and then for like 4 layers back. So it's gonna get really confusing, but you know, let's hang in there. Because
Okay.
right now we know who our enemy is. He's revealed very early in the series. It is the Digimon Emperor, or as it's known in the translation, Digimon Kaiser, which I like better, but we'll call him the Digimon Emperor because that's what the dub uses.
Okay.
The Digimon Emperor seems to just be a kid, but he's evil and
Okay.
he's wearing glasses, and he is in
Uh-huh.
possession of a D3 himself. But his
Mm.
D3 is a black D3, a dark
That's corrupted.
digivice. It seems to be
Ah.
corrupted in some way.
Okay.
Okay.
But he has a companion as well who is Wormmon. I didn't like Wormmon as a kid. I'm an adult now though, and I
Oh.
love Wormmon.
Yeah, Wormmon's great.
Oh. What's Wormmon like?
Wormmon is his little minion. But he's constantly trying to get the Digimon Emperor to be a better guy. Every once in a while he calls him Ken, which is his real name. He's, don't call me that. Call me the Digimon Emperor. And he's like, I'm sorry. He talks like this. He goes, oh, Ken, I don't think we should be doing this. And he's just a little worm, and I love him. And he's like a long-suffering little guy, but he's always trying to help his partner,
Aw.
who is the Digimon Emperor. But he does not want anything to do with him because he can't.
How old is this child?
He's the same age as the rest of the new
Yeah,
Digidestined.
to be a digidestined, you have to be in middle school.
Right.
If you're too old, you get
They
cut off.
actually
Got it.
they do actually say that you have to be a kid to see Digimon. Like as you get older, you
it's
just
like-
kind of don't perceive Digimon
It's like
anymore.
fairies and the fairy
As-
godparents.
As
fairy
you get
godparents.
older, you just see
I didn't want
terrorist
to.
attacks
I don't want to. I don't want to
instead.
get too far into it, but yeah, they just like all of the people
my
have like
God.
Digimon sightings all over the world, and all the like news and adults are just like hand waving it away. They're like, oh, that wasn't really. That was like a
Okay.
weird power outage. So like they can't like perceive the Digimon. Only
Got
the
it.
pure heart of a child can, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
but
it.
Wormmon and the Digimon Emperor are the ones putting up all these spires. Unrelated, in the real world, you guys know how when there's a kid who's really smart and good at sports, like a middle schooler who's like really smart and good at sports, they always put him on the news all the time and like do interviews with him and talk to him all the time. You know how they do that in the regular world? Well,
Sure.
in the regular world, there's a kid named Ken Ichijoji, and he's really smart. And he's really good at soccer, and he's always on the news, and everyone's always talking about him, and they're like, he's so cool. I think he's awesome.
Okay.
Meanwhile, unrelated in the digital world,
There's one named Ken.
the Digimon Emperor is causing havoc, and
is
he
this,
is and he Patamon says, don't worry, because the sun is going down. And they're like, what does that matter? And he's like, oh, well, the Digimon Emperor never comes out at night. So the Digimon Emperor only is a menace during the day.
Sure. Is this a scenario for my visuals in my head here, where the Digimon Emperor has like a big hood on that we cannot
Yeah,
see?
I'm imagining, like, a big cloak over
he's
his
wearing
face.
glasses. He's wearing like glasses, like dark glasses, and then his hair's all frizzy. And then you have to imagine Ken Ichijoji isn't wearing glasses and his hair is straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Separate people.
does that help? So
Yeah,
they're unrelated.
All right. Thank you. Yep. All right.
So while playing a soccer game against Ken Ichijoji, Davis is getting really competitive, but Ken is just really good and beats him like really easily. And he was like, "Oh, I gave you a run for your money." And he was like, "I hate you, Davis. I'm the Digimon Emperor, and I'm going to defeat you, digidestined." So cat's out of the bag on that one. He just reveals himself.
Wow.
That's fun.
All right.
So Ken is the Digimon Emperor, Digimon Kaiser, is putting up all these control spires, trying to take over the digital realm. In order to move the plot along, he's just like, I'm sick of being just regular Ken Ichijoji. I'm going to go into the digital realm forever and rule there and really like fuck shit up. And so
he couldn't take the pressures of society and his
it was like inane to him. He's like, I can't stand all of you people talking about things that aren't Digimon. I'm gonna go to the digital realm forever.
But I will come home every night because my mom makes really good dinner.
Well, no, now he's just in the digital world. He's staying there now. He gives his parents like a running away note, and then now he's the digital emperor. So the kids are like, well, we have to go into the digital world and stop him. And so the
How do
older
you make black obelisks.
So we'll get there. Friend.
Evil.
Okay.
But like, so stuff just pops up in the digital realm, and it's like it seems to be implied that like being a genius lets you like make things in the digital realm. So I assume you like program them somehow.
That's
because Ken takes the dark rings, which apparently he invented, because he's a genius. And the problem with the dark rings is that they can only control lower level Digimon.
Okay.
What's that, Ethan?
I'm imagining as we were talking about last time, is just Luigi comes up to Mario with a dark gear and he's like, "Look, Mario, I made this new thing." And it's Luigi, you didn't make it.
You didn't make it.
Now, why hasn't Izzy been able to make anything then?
Izzy has done a lot. He's like a researcher. He like figures all this stuff out really quickly.
Okay.
So he's more of like a cataloger of the digital realm.
He is able to also build things in there?
He definitely like
realm?
as we'll see later, he does like set things up that like helps things happen with the interact with the digital world. So yeah, Izzy is like in that echelon.
So it
of
is
people.
established that if you know enough about digital
if you're smart, you can like interact with the digital world in a different way.
Okay.
If you're smart,
like Neo from the Matrix.
and your mom is willing to buy you the new D3 Digivice.
Exactly. And this is just a good example of how, like, if you know how to use Tor, you own the internet. You're like you're epic, you know. But so, all right, we're getting to the good. I'm so excited. We're getting the good parts. So
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, I'm frightened now, but let's go.
So,
excitement.
so this is where it's like kind of episodic. The older kids are helping the new digidestined like figure out what it means to be digidestined, like what the different crests mean. Having like heart to hearts. They're destroying the spires, which allow the older kids' Digimon to digivolve into champion. But as we learn, the previous digidestined cannot digivolve to ultimate anymore. That's weird because they used the power of the crests to digivolve to ultimate previously, and the crests were destroyed, but they learned that the power of the crests is inside of them.
But the power inside of them doesn't work anymore?
This is where the retcon comes in, the part that they didn't explain at the end of Digimon 1, but that is important now.
Okay.
When they saved the digital realm from Armageddonmon, the digital world got rebooted, and all of the Digimon who perished became Digi-eggs again, and then rehatched into Digimon, because Digimon never die. They just get reconfigured into Digi-eggs. And so they saved the world and like reconfigured the world and all that stuff. But apparently, as we learn now, they needed to protect the digital world from dark forces that could corrupt it while it was still in this kind of infancy state. So the 8 digidestined gave up the power of their crests to cover the land in a protective seal that would protect it from evil, which was a
A
great
firewall.
it was a great sacrifice that the digidestined did in order to protect the world, but it also means their Digimon can no longer digivolve to the ultimate form. They can
Okay.
only digivolve to champion.
And also
Okay.
seems like it didn't work that good.
It worked long enough to get to the next digidestined. So it was
sure.
It's
effective
not a
for what it was.
permanent fixture.
Right. It
yeah.
was just for that moment. So although all of the old Digimons are digivolving to champion, they can't get to ultimate still, even though the crests are inside of them all along.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're cool with that. Also, in all of this like trading back and forth of life lessons and like the young being taught by the older Digimon, they find 3 more Digi eggs. But who are they going to go to? Well, first, Davis is having this is seeing like Ty and Matt interact, and they're always like fighting, and he's like, how can you guys be friends? You guys are always at each other's throats. And then they explain to him, they're like, well, sometimes friendship is like not always like getting along, but it's like, you know, being what the other person needs you to be. And it's just boys being boys. You know, there's like beating the shit out of each other and like, no, we're friends. They find the Digi Egg of Friendship, and Matt, the previous Digidestined, obviously can't pick it up, but Davis is able to pick up the new Digi Egg after learning about friendship.
Double dipping.
So
He can have
he is
two.
able to digivolve Vmon into Rageramon, the storms of friendship. And so
Is that also champion
No.
or is that ultimate?
that's us also.
Hold
Well,
on.
it's an armor digivolve, so it's like that. It's kind of above champion, but below ultimate
armor.
in a way.
Okay. So
But
we now
it's
have
an armor.
subcategory as armor champion.
But armor digivolving. So now the Digimon that can armor digivolve, any Digimon whose owner has the old Digivice cannot armor digivolve at all. But the
okay.
D3 holders can armor digivolve using the armor digi eggs. And of course, the remaining 2 eggs are going to go to our 2 new Digimon that are going to be Yoli and Cody, find the crest of purity and of sincerity, and they're able to digivolve. I, for the life of me, could not tell you what Hawkmon digivolves into with the purity one. Oh shit! Oh, how could I forget that? No, that one's so good. Hawkmon can digivolve into Shuramon, who's like a Shuramon, like a shuriken. He's like a ninja, but he's like leaf themed, and he's like his arms are like his arms are like shuriken that are like springy arms, so he can like springy shuriken slash. It's really cool.
That Digimon
I like Shuramon.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I forgot that Digimon had typing.
Don't
Right?
please,
Isn't there, like,
friend.
plant
Don't
type
worry
and stuff?
about don't worry about the virus and the vaccine and the data types. We can't worry about that.
Oh no. Okay.
But
does that play any role in
No,
this series?
not a
that we
one.
need to
They
be
do
worried
say
about?
it. They do talk
Okay.
about it every once in a while, but it doesn't mean anything. They're just
Okay. It's only for the trading card game.
yeah. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Got it.
So
I will purge it from my thoughts.
Hawkmon can now Digimon into Shuramon, the Shuriken of Sincerity or whatever, and and in the most pragmatic of Digivolutions, Armadillomon can now digivolve into Submarimon, which is just a submarine that they can use to go underwater.
Oh, yeah, that's rad.
So Cody sits inside of Submarimon, and if ever there's like underwater stuff they need done, he does it. So fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So practical. It's
It
so
is.
practical.
So that is all the Digi Eggs accounted for, all the crests accounted
Okay.
for.
Yeah.
And so all of the holders of the D3s can digivolve into multiple different armor Digivolutions.
Okay.
Great. They're going to fight.
But how does Ken have a Digivice? Because those were only made for the Digidestined from
Those
that Sage dude.
Those are only made.
before.
Those are only made
Yeah.
for the
So why does
Digidestined.
Ken have a Why is Ken Digidestined? What's his element?
Fran,
besides evil?
you're ready. You're ready for the next
I'm ready.
phase.
What is he Digidestined for?
So all of the Digidestined, the new Digidestined collect together. The old Digidestined are like covering for them in the real world because they're going to stay in the digital world until they can
For a
defeat
few
Ken,
days.
who also
Yeah.
stays in the digital world. So
Okay.
they are going to go to his fortress, which is like a floating big rock fortress, and they're going to fight him.
Okay.
Love it.
In the meantime, Ken, the Digikaiser, is trying to like get more powerful Digimon under his control. problem with the dark rings is that they can only control like champion level Digimon.
Okay.
Ken is able to kidnap Agumon, Tai's Agumon, and put a dark ring on him. And he is trying to get a more powerful Digimon. And what happens to Agumon when we try to force him to Digivolve? That's right, he dark Digivolves instead. You remember Skull Greymon, who was the dark Digivolution of Greymon when Tai tried to push him too hard. Ken forces Agumon into the Skull Greymon form, and the rest of the Digidestined have to fight him. And this is where this is the parts where they get their second Digi eggs, and they're like learning about friendship, and like sometimes friendship means you have to like kill your friend,
kill your friend.
Greymon.
No, like, and
you're being what they need.
Listen, CJ, I'm gonna let you finish, but I absolutely see where you're coming from. Where it's like, man, I would rather just watch Pokemon. Like, I don't get what's going on.
So we've got Armor Digivolve, we've got Armor Digivolve, we've got regular Digivolve, we've got Warp Digivolve, and now we've got Dark Digivolve.
Yeah.
And then we also have the thing that Omnimon did, which we don't know what it is yet, but we're getting there. So so he uses this, like, he's like researching how Agumon is digivolving, and he's like, I need a form that's more powerful than the dark ring to control more powerful Digimon, because they need more powerful Digimon now that they can all digivolve.
Is this where Gadomon's tail thing comes in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Although there is like a reference that like her ring kind of inspired the form of the dark rings. They don't really go into that too much, but that is kind of the idea of it, I think.
Okay.
And then he's like, what's a more powerful shape than a ring? A spiral. So he makes a dark spiral, which he can put onto them like a armband, basically, which allows him to control ultimate level Digimon. So now there's ultimate level Digimon, and Ken is like, I need even more power. Ken is making a new Digimon. He's like programming one. It's like an artificial Digimon.
Okay, so no natural evolution here.
As opposed to the natural Digimon, right?
Now we get into the point where there's like regular Digimon, which they all go out of their way to be like, Digimon are living real things. They're actual people. But there's also artificial Digimon. They're not real people, and they don't have feelings. Right? It's AI Digimon. They don't have souls inside of them. And Ken made a new one. He called it Chimeramon, and it has all of his favorite parts of all of the Digimon that he likes. It has like Kabuterimon's wings. He took all of the like champion form of the old Digidestined Digimons and like combined them together. And it has like Skull Greymon's arms. He goes to a place called the Dark Whirlpool, which is connected to the Dark Ocean, which we'll get into that later, but it's like an evil place.
It's all part of the dark web.
And when he goes there, he kind of flirts with Devimon. Remember Devimon from the last one? He's one of the first like
one of the
ultimate levels they fight.
Long arms.
With very long. He takes his very long arms from Devimon and he puts them onto Chimeramon.
This is like every edgy elementary schooler's fantasy. Like,
it was really pandering.
What if I just took all of the cool parts and put them together, and then also gave him cool sunglasses?
And poor Wormmon, he's like, Master, if you want someone to fight, I'll fight for you. You don't need Chimeramon. He's like, oh no, you're worthless, Wormmon. You would never be as cool as Chimeramon. And he's like, oh, Master, oh. But so he's like flirting with this like evil force he doesn't understand, the darkness of the Dark Ocean. Again, we'll get to that, but like he's like right up in there. And TK has a confrontation with him, is like, dude, you do not know the dark forces that you are dealing with. You're cruising for a bruising, buddy. But the rest of the Digidestined are gonna like take down his base. They're gonna like fight Chimeramon. They're not able to beat him. He's just too strong. He made too strong of a Digimon.
Ultimate level, right?
He is, he's like something else, but he's like ultimate level. And no one's able to get to that.
Get there.
Right. No one's able to get to that level.
Obviously it's not going to work. So why do they
Well, Davis is able to infiltrate his base with Vmon.
Okay.
And Wormmon has been getting kicked around this whole time. And he was like,
Yeah.
I'm worried for my master. I feel the darkness is corrupting him, which is like, yeah, that's what's
Well,
happening.
shit.
Good job, Wormmon.
Yeah.
He's like, if it's what it takes to save him, then you have to destroy this place. And then David's like, okay. And so Wormmon leads him to the heart of the base, which is like a big engine room, and the engine opens up, and it's revealed that the engine of this dark base is being powered by another digi-egg. But this digi-egg is black. It's been corrupted.
Is it the virus one?
This digi-egg has a new symbol on it, a new crest, a ninth crest.
Oh God.
And but it's been corrupted. And but Davis comes and he picks up the corrupted digi-egg, and the digi-egg transforms.
Oh.
You need a sec, buddy?
This part isn't explained super good, but the digi-egg is a digi-egg that's been corrupted.
Okay.
But when Davis picks it up, a power that is unknown to anyone at this point infuses the dark digi-egg with a new power, and it transforms from a dark digi-egg to a golden digi-egg.
Ooh.
This golden digi-egg will be referred to as the digi-egg of miracles from now on.
Miracles?
Miracles.
Okay.
Okay.
And because Vmon is a Digimon who can armor Digivolve, he can use the power of the golden digi-egg of miracles to golden armor Digivolve into Magnamon. Magnamon is definitely an ultimate level Digimon at the very least. He looks like a big buff version of Vmon, but he's covered in golden armor. And he's able to fight Chimeramon. And he's unable to beat Chimeramon, but Wormmon is like,
not so great.
I will give you the last of my power so that you can, because like Magnamon's like a robot, kind of. He seems to need energy to fuel, and he kind of runs out of energy. And then Wormmon's like, you can have my energy to right the wrongs of Ken. And then he gives up his physical form into energy to fuel Magnamon, who is able to defeat Chimeramon. And this like snaps Ken out of his evilness. And he's like, no, Wormmon, I care for you now, and I'm sad that you're gone. And then he's like defeated. And as he's defeated, his like emperor clothes like Digi breaks away, and he's back in his like regular clothes, and he's just regular Ken now. And he's like, oh, what's happened? What have I done? I've killed Wormmon.
He sounds like Wormmon now.
Wormmon. But after they golden armor Digivolve to Magnamon, he like digivolves, and the egg stops being the egg of miracles, but it purifies, and we discover that it is the digi-egg of kindness all along. And the digi-egg of kindness goes to Ken, and he's like, how can I have the digi-egg of kindness? I've been a real dick. So he has to go do some soul searching on that.
Okay.
But that is how they defeat the Digimon Emperor. But
that doesn't answer everything.
Do you guys remember in the previous series how Gatomon had a close friend, Wizardmon? She saved him one time, and he felt eternally grateful, and the two of them became friends even when Gatomon was under the employ of Myotismon, because Wizardmon secretly wanted to try and save her from Myotismon, who knew was a bad influence on her. And then he nobly sacrificed his own life in order to save Gatomon from Myotismon's own attack, and now he's a ghost. Do you remember all that?
Okay.
No.
Oh, right, because I didn't talk about that. There's a
Okay.
There's a Digimon named Wizardmon. I like Wizardmon. He's a little wizard fellow, but he did die in the previous one. But as we all know, Digimon never really die. But he is a ghost now.
Is that like a choice they get? Like, would you like to be an egg or a ghost?
I get. It's like when you die, you can join the skeleton army or the ghost brigade.
Is Ghost Data like the fragments in your hard drive back when we had hard
Well,
disks
he's
of,
a ghost in the regular world, so we don't really know what's going on.
Wait,
Also,
what?
the Digimon
What?
are in the Digimon are in the regular world now because they can teleport back and forth. I forgot to mention that.
What? Hold on. Not just the digidestined can teleport back and forth?
Wait. So
yeah.
So if a Digimon dies in the digital world, their egg is reborn. But if they die in the real world, they do just haunt people.
They're a Christian ghost. Yeah, I guess so.
Because in the real world, God judges them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what happened. Well, fantastic. Yeah, that is what happened. So Wizardmon is contacting Gatomon from the great beyond. And he's like, listen, I have a prophecy for you, because they love prophecies.
Yeah,
we love prophecies. We haven't had one
He
yet.
says-
We haven't had one yet.
He says, Gatomon, there's a powerful darkness. They must, the digidestined, he's referring to the digidestined. They must return the one wrapped in darkness to his true self. Kindness will release the golden radiance. So
Okay.
that is
All right.
We're seeing that is the prophecy. The golden
Okay.
radiance is the golden
That's-
digi
Ken's gotta
egg
be
of
nice
miracles.
again.
And,
Okay.
and now they have to bring Ken back into the digidestined. He seemed to have been corrupted by some dark energy. Wizardmon tells them as much. They're like, the Digimon
Because
Emperor.
there's always
There's
someone behind the curtain.
there's another
Yeah,
one pulling the
okay.
strings.
Yeah.
All right.
So
all right.
they go, Ken is your enemy. The Digimon Emperor is your enemy, but he is being controlled by a greater evil.
Of course.
So we're good there.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to being
That's
a
fine.
ghost. So
Okay.
bummer.
Bummer.
Okay.
Okay. So he's no longer corrupted. Ken isn't. He has to do some soul
Yeah.
searching to figure out why he deserves to be the kindness Digimon.
Exactly.
Destined.
Ken is
Well-
no longer the Digimon Emperor, but we understand that there are darker forces at play.
Yeah.
And
So the curtain is being pulled.
the curtain is pulled a little bit, just a little peek behind the curtain to
Just
start.
a little peek behind this curtain
Okay.
behind Ken,
And
who is a child.
and Ken is bereft at the loss of Wormmon. Just to give you a little bit of like the process he goes through. He goes to Primary Island. If you guys remember, that's the island where all Digi eggs show up and where they
course.
all Digimon are reborn as eggs. Because Digimon never
course.
die, they're just reconfigured.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless they die in
Ken-
the real world and then
Ken-
turn into ghosts.
Ken is able to use the crest of kindness inside of his heart to find Wormmon's new egg. And
Oh my god.
he finds the little baby Digimon that comes out, and it's a Leafmon, and it's the cutest fucking little thing. It's just a little green ball, but it has a little leaf sprouted out over the top of its head like an umbrella.
Okay, that's pretty fucking cute.
It's
yeah.
so cute. And then eventually digivolves into Wormmon. That's his
Okay.
baby
Right.
phase.
Okay.
And so Ken is reunited with Wormmon, and they are trying to right the wrongs that Ken has plagued the digital world with, and they are going around destroying control towers.
Okay.
And Ken realizes that through his bond with Wormmon, he's able to digivolve him as well. So,
Ooh.
something that we didn't go over that Fran already brought up, though, very astute of you, is that even the Digimon that can armor digivolve are also able to regular digivolve or
Mhm.
natural digivolve, if you will. For example, Vmon can digivolve into XVmon. This is just normal digivolving.
Okay.
How many does that make for Vmon now?
Vmon can digivolve
4?
into 4 different Digimon now. He has
Oof.
He has Flamedramon, Raydramon, XVmon, and Magnamon.
All no, wait.
Ye-
Some of those are champion tier, some of them are
They're
Mega tier?
they're like champion-ish, but they can fuck around with ultimates, I think.
okay.
Especially
Okay, but
Magnamon.
still-
He's like up there.
Okay.
He's maybe Mega.
Okay.
I don't know. Who gives a shit? We're already breaking down the hierarchy, all right? We're destroying what we've built. So all of the Digimon can do this.
Yep.
The Hawkmon and Armadillomon can also digivolve. And so we are getting even more digivolutions. And the original Digidestined are also kind of stuck at the champion level, but they're also able to help out and digivolve to champion and do all that. And you get plenty of digi-evolution sequences.
Are
And so-
all like 12 of them ever like in the same episode at the
Oh
same
yeah.
time?
Oh my. They're like back to back to
Oh,
back.
no.
It'll go sometimes.
That is
it's
too
very-
many.
It doesn't. You
That
don't.
is too many.
You do not even understand, Franya. It goes beyond that. We'll get there. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on,
boy.
friend. We're getting there. This is the exciting part. This is the best part. All right.
Okay.
So, the I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, the 3 Digimon that were revealed when they claimed the Digi Egg are going to be referred to as ancient Digimon. What we eventually learn at some point is that Digimon used to be very different in the old times of Digimon, but over time, Digimon regular evolved into new types of Digimon and
What?
etc. etc.
What the hell is the old times of Digimon?
It's
Like
when
the
the
80s, I
universities,
guess.
like it was in the universities, or like the internet was only being used by universities or the
Right,
military.
and it's all just like thesis papers and,
there was
stuff.
right. There was that one.
And then listservs came around.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, and there was that one like, you know, amazing professor who was using his room-sized computer to
Right.
compute how to make an atom bomb, but he was also like, could you output a sexy dragon mommy?
Digimon, make a Digimon.
well, it's like when there's evolutions within the internet itself. So like when the people first got like their first webcam to watch the coffee maker, right?
Fran,
That denoted a big shift in digivolutions.
You're trying awful hard to carry Digimon here, and you can just let them fall on their own.
No,
It's okay.
I'll always carry Digimon with me. So
in my D3 device that you can purchase now
Yeah.
at
Mhm.
retailers everywhere.
So we're gonna learn some stuff, but what we can learn is that the Digimon's Vmon, Hawkmon, and Armadillomon are called ancient Digimon.
Is that why they're just named after animals? Those 2 of them are?
Vmon. Well, Vmon's like a little dinosaur. He's got like a little horn.
Sort
so
of.
yeah, but they were sealed away under the eggs, if you recall. So they were not just walking around. They had been sealed away
Yeah.
since ancient times, because armor digivolving is apparently an ancient way to digivolve. It's actually a very old way, which is why the control
From
spires
30 years ago.
which is why the control spires did not prevent it from happening, because it only prevented the modern digivolving way.
What is
Analog,
this code?
nuclear.
It's in Visual Basic.
But even it's all sequel based. But but now the ancient Digimon have also figured out ways to digivolve. Wormmon has been able to digivolve naturally into Stingmon, and Stingmon is destroying towers and stuff, but Ken still hasn't really been brought into the fold with the rest of the Digidestined.
Right.
But then yeah, all of the ancient Digimon can digivolve, except for I think Patamon and Gatomon are still stuck in their armor digivolving only. So
Okay.
something's different about those two. The Crests of Light and Hope are behaving a little differently than the rest of
So
them.
they still can't naturally digivolve even with the towers?
They haven't naturally
destroyed?
they haven't naturally digivolved even without the towers.
Oh, even with the obelisks destroyed.
Well,
okay.
and so this is a weird part. So like Angemon is champion level by definition, but if you recall, Patamon and TK always had kind of a different progression from the rest of the group. Like he was always a little bit behind, and his digi evolutions were always kind of like more spurred on by needing to defeat some sort of demon like Devimon. Because Angemon is kind of the antithesis to all the devil Digimons, as with Angelomon. So they're different. All right. They're not ancient Digimon, but they can also use the armor digi evolution to armor digivolve. So
they're Catholic Digimon.
some people on the internet say that the loss of Gatomon's ring reverted her to an ancient state that allowed her to use the armor digivolve. I'm not gonna give a lot of credence to this theory, mostly because Patamon also did that, and he did not lose his holy ring, which he doesn't have. But also, I just think people are really trying to grasp at straws to try to explain why those two are different. They're just different. Gatomon and Patamon, different.
They're just different.
Fair enough?
Okay, don't think too hard.
Fair?
Okay.
Like, that's a fair assessment.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
please save me.
Amazing. So we're introduced to a couple new enemies that are causing havoc. The digidestined are trying to destroy all of the control spires. Ken is also trying to destroy the control spires, though not with anyone's
But
help.
separate.
Right.
Mhm.
And they're and mostly Davis is trying to like bring him into the fold. He's kind of the leader, and he's like, we should be friends. We shouldn't be fighting. You know, all that stuff's in the past. Let's, move forward. All that kind of
Through
stuff.
the power of friendship. Yep.
But they're having issues with all that. Meanwhile, we're introduced to two new dark figures. There is a woman dressed in all red, kind of looks like Carmen Sandiego, and
Cool.
there's a man dressed in all blue who looks like a train conductor, kinda. And the two of them are going around starting shit, but mostly the woman is pulling out strands of her hair, and then they become sharp like a needle, like stiff and long like a needle, and then she implants them into the dark spires, and the dark
Ooh.
spire turns into a dark Digimon.
Oh.
So this is where we get to the
Interesting.
difference between like an artificial Digimon and like a natural Digimon. The
Interesting.
Digimon that are control spires, they seem to think are not real Digimon. They don't have feelings or anything like that.
Okay.
And so they're just like machines in a
Yeah.
world of digital
Data.
machines. They're
Yeah.
machines. They don't feel bad
Okay.
about they don't feel bad about killing them is the reason they bring this up. Because they will just
Okay.
destroy them. It's the same as destroying a control spire at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't said this yet during this episode. I felt like it was implied, but I will say it now. This is stupid. This is
No, it's not. It's not stupid yet.
Oh no! I didn't
So,
know. Please. Okay.
have
All right.
a question.
Yes,
I
friend.
have a question.
Yes, friend. You in the front.
When the Carmen Sandiego lady takes her hair and pierces the obelisk dark
Yes.
and makes dark not natural
Yes.
Digimon, are they champion level, ultimate level, or mega level?
Astute observation, friend. Very good. If she uses a single hair within a single obelisk, it creates a champion level Digimon.
Okay.
However, as we
If you-
find out as the series go on, if she uses 10 hairs on 10 obelisks, they will combine together to create an ultimate level Digimon.
Ooh, we've got exponential growth.
And
of
if
power
she
levels.
uses 100 hairs on 100 obelisks at the
How
same
many-
time,
wait, how many fucking
how many obelisks
obelisks
did
were
Ken
there?
make?
at least 100. Because if she uses 100 hairs on 100 obelisks, she can create a mega level Digimon.
Well,
she
definitely more than 100 then.
she does this one time, and she creates a mega level Digimon, a bit of a fan favorite because this is Black War Greymon. That's right, an evil version of War Greymon.
Oh,
One of the
no.
most powerful Digimon that we know of to date.
Uh-huh.
Now, remember, all of the Digimon crafted from the Dark Obelisks are not real. They don't have feelings.
We can do war crimes to them, and it's not a big deal.
They're not real people. It's fine.
Dark War Greymon starts asking questions like, do I have a heart and what is my purpose?
Uh-oh. It's becoming self-aware.
So we are given some philosophical questions about what a Dark Spire Digimon is pretty quickly. Now, I'm
Before we get too far, I want to back up. Okay, Ken is supposed Emperor
Oh.
Digi Emperor Digi Kaiser Ken.
yes,
Digi Kaiser Ken does sound
Uh-huh.
right.
Digikaiser Ken.
Supposedly is the one who built all of these black obelisks.
Correct, but he did.
How fucking
he-
many did he
made a
build
lot.
in
He
his
was-
little
he's-
14-year-old time
He's
span?
a genius, Fran.
Yeah,
he built a
I-
lot.
That doesn't mean he's efficient.
I mean,
does.
Well, it's code, Fran. He just copy pasted.
He's copy and pasted over all the
Oh.
digital realm. It was actually pretty easy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and
no,
as I just want to like tie up Ken's whole deal because when they defeat him as the Digimon Emperor, he's like, I'll just delete the digital world and remake a new one and try
Why
again.
can't he just delete the
and
obelisks?
try again. And they're like, Ken, the digital world isn't just like a computer game. It's not a computer program you control. It's a real place with real Digimon. And he's like, oh God. Like that's one of the reasons he had to go on a soul searching. He thought it was just like a thing he was playing with. He didn't think it was like real.
Oh, that he's actually toying with
and
the
he
lives of
thought the
real
other
things.
digidestined were kind of just like players in this game he was winning at. So he was just like flaming them on the internet like any good middle schooler would do if he was
Oh my
winning really
God.
hard.
Yeah, no, I like that. So we got one kid is flaming people on the internet. Meanwhile, we have Black War Greymon just like, when I die, my memories will be lost like teardrops in the rain.
And they're like, no, he's not real. He doesn't have a soul. He's not thinking. They do say that a lot. They're like, you don't think anything. And he's like, then why do I wonder about my existence? And they're like, I don't know.
Shut up.
So I'm gonna let the cat out of.
How long has he kept so long?
He's
friends
like
with
he's
them?
the new enemy for like the next arc. So I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. The Carmen Sandiego lady and the train conductor man. They're actually humanoid Digimon. That's Arukenimon and Mummymon. They have humanoid disguises to help them blend
Is
in.
Mummymon the woman?
No,
one?
he's the man.
Okay.
They have
No, not Mommymon.
not
That's
Mummymon.
Mummymon.
He's Mummymon. He's a mummy. But sometimes he wears a coat to hide the fact that
looks
he's
like
a
a train
mummy. That looks
conductor.
like a train conductor's
Okay.
coat.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
Arukenimon, her disguise is a little less one-to-one. When she's not disguised, she just turns into like an arachnoid woman with like woman on top, spider on bottom
Ew.
kind of deal.
Uh-huh.
Ew.
She has the ability to control any insect Digimon with her flute, which works on Stingmon because he
Why not?
is an insect. But
Why does
doesn't
he have
but
a
doesn't work
flute?
on Vmon because he's not an insect. Also, it works on Kabuterimon
Fair.
because he
Okay,
is
so the types of Digimon do matter.
sometimes. Don't think
So
about it too
it's-
much. But anyway,
I don't
Aruk-
think- I don't think insect is a Digimon type.
yeah,
I
they're
think
just
Yeah.
like any Digimon that's like
There's
insectoid.
plant-based.
Which
Yeah, any Digimon
in-
that kind of
so-
looks like an
Also,
insect.
spiders aren't.
Okay, I
insects.
can't believe you're making me bring this up. Digimon do have types. There's like dragon
Yeah.
type, human type. They have all though, and it's
Virus.
kind of just like no, that's different from that. It's like how
Oh, okay. Sorry.
okay. Do you know how Digimon or not? Do you know how Yu-Gi-Oh cards have the elemental types like light, dark, fire, water? They have the elemental alignments, but they also have typings like fiend or aqua or pyro and stuff like that.
This is
Digimon are the
Sure,
same.
I
They
know.
have types, vaccine, data, and the other one
The others.
and virus, but they also have the like dragon type or
I-
like dragon.
I don't
dragon,
like that human is a type of Digimon.
Well, like
Humanoid.
Angemon, they're humanoid.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter what you like, Ethan. It's the digital world. So that doesn't matter though. Don't worry about that. So Arukenimon is making these artificial Digimon with her hair. They seem to be affiliated with this dark man who was speaking to TK's mom.
There. Okay. Yeah, I can make
Sure.
that
So
connection.
there's some sort of, again, he seems to be the greater evil puppeteering these two, Arukenimon and Mummymon. I love Arukenimon and Mummymon. I'm just gonna take a quick moment to shout them out. Like they have a great dynamic. Arukenimon she's just trying to like do all this evil stuff, and Mummymon is just obsessed with Arukenimon. He like loves her and is like constantly professing his love to her, and she's just like, whatever, I don't care about it. And I don't know if they were voiced by Jesse and James from Pokemon, but they really sound like they are just Jesse and James from Pokemon. I think there's some inspiration there, perhaps.
Okay.
Inspiration.
But
is a word.
they're our evil dynamic duo. They are using Black War Greymon to do evil things. What sort of evil things? Well, let's introduce a new thing. Why the fuck not? There are these big stone spheres, I guess. They're
What?
They're relics, okay? They are known.
Okay.
I have to find the actual fucking.
Okay, so these are. Okay, hold on.
S-
Where are these spheres?
in the digital world?
Yes, but where?
Everywhere.
Because the obelisks are like in these big
Right.
pillars.
Well,
I
they don't
presume.
care about those anymore. They're being destroyed by the
So-
digidestined,
so where are the
and they are
spheres?
being turned into dark Digimon.
How big are these spheres?
Really big, like building size.
No one had questions about them before.
They're unrelated to the spires. They're good. The spires
They're
are
just
bad. The
existent?
spheres are good.
Okay.
So
Is
Big
we
black
all,
spheres.
Listen,
we're
we
so far away from the real stuff here.
Are these big black spheres?
They're not black
scattered
spheres.
about
They're
the
stone
countryside?
spheres.
Stone spheres just scattered about the countryside.
the
Yes.
digital countryside.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Hold on. I
Obviously.
have to figure out what they're called because they're very important. They're the next
All right,
MacGuffin.
but yeah. Now I'm 100% on this. The spires, the phallic objects are evil, and
The
then
ovum.
the ovum is the holy.
Right.
This all makes sense to me now. I'm back on board.
Is it the Destiny Stone?
Yes, it is the Destiny Stone.
Okay.
All right, you got it, Fran. You know what you're talking about. Okay, so War Greymon is being sent by Arukenimon and Mummymon to destroy these Destiny Stones, which are scattered around the digital realm. They're just like huge monolithic stones with holy rings around them. And
Okay.
we don't know why we're doing that. And Black War Greymon doesn't really know why he's doing it, but he keeps asking like questions about his like existence and like, just general like self-awareness stuff. And they're like, no, you're just a big weapon we made to go destroy stuff. Just do that.
Does Arukenimon and Mummymon know why they're doing it?
Yes.
Either?
They're told to do it, but yeah, it doesn't seem.
Okay, so they don't know. They don't question their
They don't seem to be
authority.
the puppet
Okay.
masters behind all this. Correct.
Okay. This is the second curtain.
Right. So
Okay, got it.
Black War Greymon
God.
is going around.
So he just is around now. Blackmore Greymon just like exists.
Well, the kids are trying to the digidestined are trying to like fight him and defeat him, but they can't.
Always?
He's too powerful. He's a
Okay.
mega level Digimon. Their Digimon
Yeah,
have
what are
gotten
they
to
gonna
like
do?
right. Their Digimon have gotten
Ultimate at
to
most.
champion for the most part. But there's a new type of Digievolution that will help them in the fight against evil. Davis has been trying to get Ken into the fold of the Digidestined for like a long time now. Like he's been like trying to incorporate all
Days.
of them, and the rest of the Digidestined are like, they're not about it yet, but like clearly Ken's turned a leaf and he's trying to like be better.
Leafmon.
Yeah, exactly. But he is, he's having troubles like relating to them too because of he did all this bad stuff and he feels really bad about it. But Davis pulls him in and he was like, listen to me, we have to fight together. Like the only way we can win is as one, as the Digidestined. Like you have to put all that stuff in the past and we have to move forward. And he feels Ken's heartbeat synchronize with his own, as according to his words. And as he
Whoa.
does so, Vmon natural digivolves to X Vmon, and Wormmon digivolves to Stingmon. The two of them obviously unable to fight the threat that Black War Greymon poses. But then, as these two synchronize, a new thing happens, and they're able to use the power of DNA Digivolve to combine the powers of Stingmon and XVmon into one, if you can believe it. And the two of them DNA Digivolve to a new Digimon that's at the ultimate level.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like ultimate level.
It's not mega. It's not mega. That's not what I was.
Yes.
So-
They DNA Digivolve to Pyaldramon, who's like a dragon Digimon.
Cool.
He's a bipedal dragon. He's got a bunch of wings and big like claw arms. He's mostly XVmon, quite honestly. He's really not that much Stingmon, but whatever.
So they drifted. They're drift compatible.
as Izzy explains, he looks at us, the audience, and he says,
Thank
the
goodness.
two of you seem to have done a new type of digivolving, although this type of digivolving maybe isn't new. I think that you two have done something that we all have seen previously, back when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon combined together to
Oh.
create Omnimon in the movie.
Okay.
He again looks out at the audience. You know, the movie we all saw together when we made Omnimon. I think that they were actually DNA digivolving, and I think you two have figured out how to use the power of DNA digivolving to combine two champion level Digimon into an ultimate level Digimon that's actually probably stronger than a regular ultimate level Digimon.
Still more lame than Omnimon, to be clear.
To be clear, Omnimon is still better. You would have to do something else to make something as epic as Omnimon, but I don't think you'll be able to do anything that cool. Anyway, so all the kids are like, cool, DNA digivolves in a thing, and of course they go back and forth like DNA digivolving like different pairs of them to make new Digimon. So DNA digivolving's the new thing. You take two champion level Digimon who are exclusively naturally digivolved champions, and you DNA digivolve them into a mega level DNA digivolve Digimon.
Is it ultimate or mega?
They are they're ultimate level, specifically ultimate level, and I will prove that to you later. But so DNA digivolving is the new thing for the arc. They fight Arukenimon and Mummymon using this power, but they're still not powerful enough to beat Black War Greymon. He's mega level.
Who is a mega level.
That's right.
Yeah, obviously.
That's right, friend.
Obviously.
Very good. Very, very, very smart. You seem to,
I
your
have a
own
question.
Digi knowledge seems to be increasing to the mega level.
It sure is. It's taking up parts of my neurons. I have a question that will derail us slightly. That is a meta question. I apologize.
I am ready to try and answer this, though I promise you nothing.
This series, Digimon Adventures 2.
Yes, friend.
Require, like, and just as Izzy just explained to us, as you remember, in the movie, that hasn't been released in America yet.
Right, exactly.
They just in the English dub, they're like, yeah, you know, in that movie that you haven't even had the chance to watch.
Fran,
is that the timeline here?
Fran, I'm so proud of you. I am like, you get it. You understand now.
What is happening?
Yes, they're referencing a movie that only came out in Japan at this point about a thing that never happened in America, and they're just saying Omnimon as if we, the audience, is supposed to know who Omnimon is or what the hell they've been doing. But as you remember from the thesis statement, Omnimon is the DNA digivolve of War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, who both warp digivolved from their rookie phases to the mega level to create Omnimon, who is a DNA digivolve of two megas, which what does that make him? There's no level above mega. So he's also just a mega level, but he's way stronger than mega level Digimon.
More mega.
He's the most mega.
Okay. What episode is this? What, like, I gotta find this release date. Like, what episode are you?
Okay, so the episode Fusion Confusion, I believe, is the one where they introduce DNA digivolving, which is episode 27.
Okay, episode 27. All right, here's the saving grace. Episode 27 came out February 3rd, 2001 in America.
Sure.
Digimon the movie came out on October 6th, 2000. So, in theory,
okay, so they made the movie about the other movies that were only in Japan at that point, but they had already made Digimon Adventure 2, but it was only in Japan at that point. Yes. So they made the movie, sent it to America, then sent us Digimon Adventures 2 as if which is because if you watch the movie, you don't know what Digimon Adventure 2 is. So you don't know what the last third of the movie's about. It's impossible. The order that they did this means that no matter what, you can never understand what's going on if you're watching the things as they come out. It's impossible. I've been given an impossible task.
pretty funny though.
We need to get rid of Black War Greymon. He's putting too many thoughts of self-awareness into my head.
Yeah, too much existential concern.
Black War Greymon meets up with Agumon, the regular Agumon.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he's like questioning his existence, and him and Agumon kind of have a heart to heart. And he was like, you gotta quit being a dick. And he's like, what does it mean to be a dick? I don't understand. I'm an average Twitter user. And he's like, well, just don't destroy holy relics. And he's like, no, I must, because when I destroy these destiny stones, I feel as though I am summoning someone who is powerful enough to fight me. That's his whole thing. He's trying to have the ultimate fight. No one is at his level. He's too strong. He wants like the ultimate fight. He thinks that will fulfill him. That's his purpose.
So he's not just following orders from Carmen Sandiego and the training
at a certain point, he's like, I'm not even doing this for you anymore. I want to summon a mighty warrior to fight me. And
which once again calls into question about the whole like, oh, he doesn't have thoughts or feelings kind of thing.
It's so strange. So this is where we are going to break everything. We're gonna be done making sense now. And we're going.
We've been making sense up until this point. All right.
Up until this
point.
We're
going into the realms that you guys, I have been preparing you. And now we have to go. We have to go together. Are you ready to go with me?
CJ, I don't know if I'm ready for this one.
You're ready, Ethan. You're ready, Fran. All right.
Okay.
I'll
take role of girl.
Black War Greymon destroys the last of the Destiny Stones.
Okay.
All right.
There's one more bit of housekeeping I have to take care of about a thing that we've overlooked. That's just kind of going on in the background. Let's talk about real mythology for a brief moment. We all know about the Eastern mythology, about the 4 symbols or the 4 houses or the 4 auspicious beasts, the 4 guardians, the 4 gods.
Yes, Gryffindor, Slytherin. No. Yeah, we get it. Yeah.
The 4 beasts that rule over the 4 cardinal directions. It was originally a Chinese mythology. Like most Chinese mythology, it kind of leaked into Korean and Japanese mythology as well. Of these,
these guys.
The four guardian beasts that guard the realm. Well, the digital world is a reflection in many ways of the real world. And as we all know, the mythologies in the real world about the 4 symbols, the 4 beasts, the 4 deities actually derives a lot from the 4 harmonious ones. Slaps back into one small section of the previous Digimon episode where CJ's frantically looking up what he thinks is maybe an important plot point, but doesn't totally remembers the phrase harmonious ones. And then snaps back to reality. You know, the things I brought up in the last episode that we just didn't talk about in the last one. That's because they come up here in this one. In fact, our mythologies about the 4 auspicious beasts, which are the azure dragon of the east, the vermilion bird of the south, the white tiger of the west, and the black tortoise of the north, those are actually references to Digimon.
No, that is not correct.
In fact,
that is.
No.
Are you suggesting that like these
Did
Digimon
ancient China have digital worlds?
They
have computers?
They were on the fucking abacuses, like.
Abacus was the first.
You're understanding now.
Digivice.
The digital world has lied next to our world forever, I guess.
No,
the
it has
digital
not.
monsters have at one point maybe leaked a bit into our world, influencing our mythologies over great ancient periods of time. The ancient Digimon were around that maybe influenced their mythos. And once Black War Greymon destroys the last of the stones, it breaks down the barrier between our world and the digital world and summons forth Azulongmon, an ancient Digimon, one of the 4 guardians. Perhaps he is even the blue dragon of the east.
Yep.
And Azulongmon comes to grant us with exposition explaining everything.
Okay, that's fine. He can come. What's up, man?
I don't think
Please.
he can answer my questions because now I'm having some trouble now.
Azulongmon says the Destiny Stones kept the balance between the digital world and the regular world, and now that you've destroyed them, Digiports all over the world are opening up, releasing Digimon into the real world. And he says, you, digidestined, must save the world from all of these Digimon, with the help, of course, of all the rest of the digidestined. What does he mean by that? I don't know yet. But he says, listen to
all of them?
Listen to me, Black War Greymon. You do have a soul, and you must decide what is right. You must make good what you have made bad. And he says, I will use my power to open the digital portals to let the Digidestined fight back the Digimon. But actually, this is kind of a bad idea because then other Digimon can go through the portals and kind of wreak havoc in the real world. And also the real world has control spires in it now because he opened the portal between the realms. Everything's leaking through. But Azulongmon says, listen to me, children. You have all the power of the Digi-eggs, which are actually called the Digimentals. Long ago, there were Digimon that were great warriors, each of which had within its body a attribute that was a really cool thing, like being super courageous or maybe even being a good friend, etc. And when those courageous and friendly Digimon passed away, Digimon never die, they're just reborn. But these Digimon were heroic Digimon, and so they turned into a different kind of Digi-egg. The Digimentals. It's like Element, but mixed with Digimon.
Oh my god.
And the Digimentals became the armor Digi-eggs that you can use to make your ancient Digimon armor Digivolve. That's right, the ancient Digimon could not Digivolve naturally. They had no way to do so. But by using the power of the Digimentals, they were able to armor Digivolve into more powerful beings and use their Paragon-like values to defeat evil, like Flamedramon, the Flame of Courage, etc.
So, for the audience at home, I want you to understand, CJ and I, we're buddies. We hang out outside of this podcast, and he does things like this outside of the podcast. And when he does, I can just leave, and that is normally what I would do.
You seem to be confused. Well, you see, the ancient Digimon did know how to armor Digivolve, but it was lost to time. New Digimon do not know how to armor Digivolve, but ancient Digimon do. So some ancient Digimon were sealed away in case new Digimon forgot how to regular Digivolve, which is what happened at the beginning of the series, and that's why they're here now. But now that there is a great darkness approaching, that's right, Black War Greymon is not the real evil, it's a different, greater evil behind the curtains. I will give you this, one of my 12 Digi-cores. A Digi-core is like a Digimon's soul, but as a god Digimon, I have 12. So I'll give you one, and this—
Is the Zodiac gonna be in this?
And this core allows people to Digivolve to Ultimate. That's right, the power that you had in your crests actually came from me, Azulongmon. I was giving you my power via the crests so that you could Digivolve your Digimon to Ultimate to defeat Apocalypsemon and save the world. But now a different thing is happening, so different things need to happen. Do you understand, children?
What? So, natural digivolving was something they couldn't do naturally, and armor digivolving was the first one, and then later they developed natural digivolving.
That's right, but even the ancient Digimon can natural digivolve now. I guess you taught them how to do that. Pretty cool.
We taught them to naturally digivolve.
That's right. I'm so happy I could clear all that up. Anyway, the old Digidestined had to give up their power to protect the digital realm. That's why they can't go to Ultimate now, but I will give you my Digicore, which will let you do that again. So, bye! And then he leaves. And then they have to go on a big world tour to stop all the Digimon from destroying the world, because there's Digimon everywhere. Digital monsters. Digimon are the champions.
So is Black Greymon,
He's
Black War Greymon just hanging out with the Digidestined now?
He's kind of dead now. He gave up his energy to like open up these portals, which he thought was a good thing, but was kind of a double-edged sword.
So he's morally Greymon now.
Sorry. Thank you, friend. That was very good.
All of these Digimon are out in the world wreaking havoc, and so it's up to the Digidestined to stop them.
But not evil Havoc, just Havoc.
They are regular Digimon that are just confused because they got teleported into the regular world, but there are black spires everywhere that need to be destroyed also. But they're not controlling the Digimon.
Can the adults that don't have the pure heart of a child see the Digimon in black spires?
No. They kind of wave it away.
Havoc
as
is being
else.
wreaked, and no one knows why.
This is where the genius marketing of Digimon comes into play. Because they've been hinting that there's other Digidestined this whole time. Anyone with a Digivice is a Digidestined, and every Digidestined has a Digimon partner. No, Fran, there's Digidestined all over the world.
Any child with a
Digivice is a Digidestined.
Oh my god!
And now that Black War Greymon opened up all these portals, their Digimon have come into the real world, but also other Digimon that they need to battle back into the world have come into the world. And so they do this whole like world trip thing where they travel around the world and fight all of these Digimon and like meet up with, there's like a French one and there's a Mexican one and there's Russian one. And they just go around the world meeting other Digidestined and fighting with them to put them back into the digital world, because although they are Digidestined, only the Digidestined with the D3s can reopen the digital portals to send the Digimon back to the digital world. So our main Digidestined have to go around to open the portals and fight alongside of the other Digidestined to put all the Digimon back into the digital realm.
Okay.
And this is like a big special that's going on over like many episodes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's tiers of Digidestined. Fine.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's, like,
Yeah.
important
You can calm
ones and
down. I
stuff.
wouldn't say that, but sure. Fine.
Fine. How are they getting the means to travel internationally?
That is a
as
very
minors?
That's a very astute question.
Are they traveling through the Digiverse
I'm glad.
and opening portals by the countries?
All in the real
and then,
world.
like just kind of zooping through?
I'm glad you asked.
Who is buying all these plane tickets?
I'm so glad you asked that question, Fran. I'm delighted you asked the question. Because
is Azu Longmon also just like rolling in it?
Do you
Like,
guys remember Genai?
No.
the name rings a bell?
Genai was the wise man who was able to
The wise man.
The sage, right?
the sage
right?
who collected all the Digidestined and was
And
like
informed
guiding
of
them
the
along.
prophecy and stuff.
He has projected his physical form into the real world, except now instead of being an old man, he's a sexy young man who looks kind of like Anakin Skywalker from the pre-trilogies.
Okay.
He informs the children that Azulongmon gave him the power of the core, which allows... This is where Izzy comes into play, by the way, because he points two computer monitors together and then they glow and create a portal that Genai comes out of. And so Genai is there. Remember, he's an agent. And as we learn, agents are not Digimon, but they are digital humans So he's not a human, but he's not a Digimon.
He's not a humanoid Digimon, nor a human. He's an agent.
He works for a force called homeostasis, which is a formless force that is trying to keep balance between the digital world and the real world. Which is not, it communicates through Kari sometimes. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is that he's like, Azulongmon has given you this Digicore power. This will allow the original Digidestined to digivolve into Ultimate once more. And they're all like, that's great.
Okay.
That's
we got
fantastic.
that far.
That's fantastic
That's
news.
cool.
He's also like, Gatomon, I found your little magic ring, and I'm going to give it back to you. This is going to make it so that you can't armor digivolve anymore, but you will be able to digivolve to Angemon again. Patamon, you can also digivolve to Angemon again if you feel like it. And then they go, okay, great. And on top of that, we learn that there's another power that the Digicore gives to the group. Because, as we remember, XVmon and Stingmon can DNA digivolve together to create the Paedramon. But there are a bunch of demon type Digimons. They're called they're called Devimon, which is like Devimon but a lady who's stronger than Devimon for some reason. And Marine Devimon, who's a water version of Devimon.
Okay.
And then there's Satamon, who's a little Satan Digimon. Satamon is too powerful even for Paedramon, who is the DNA Digivolve. But the ultimate level Digimon of the previous Digidestined give up their energy and de-digivolve back down into their rookie phase, but their energy is infused into Paedramon, and Paedramon is then able to mega digivolve into Imperialdramon. Imperialdramon is a dragon Digimon with a cannon on its back, and it is a mega level Digimon, and it is able to travel at, quote, the blink of an eye, which is, to answer your question, Fran, how they travel all around the world. They have Imperialdramon flies them all over the world at the blink of an eye. And B is able to defeat mega level Digimon.
Okay, so
I'm happy I asked the question.
It's a great question. Great question.
So I'm probably skipping ahead. You were probably going to get to this, but I need to know now because shit is just fucking happening. For no reason.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've got these two villain guys who don't seem to matter anymore. There was some evil force behind them. What is this evil force behind them, and what is its goal? Because shit's just happening.
Is it not just the same goal as Apocalypse?
I'm so glad you asked that question, Ethan, because when Imperialdramon is summoned to fight the demon mons that have been also summoned, there is a dark entity who reveals himself. He says he is Daemon, like demon, but a Digimon. Daemon. I am Daemon. He says, Ken, I want your dark spore for my dark purposes. And Ken goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And he says, I'm gonna get that dark spore.
I can take this shit, or you can give it willingly.
Good story.
Before we get to that point, Imperialdramon is very strong, but he is not strong enough to defeat all of the devil Digimon. He's gonna have to do something. He's mega, but he's not strong enough, Fran. Because
are all the devil demon mons or whatever mega?
Very strong, yes. Like Satamon is so strong, not even Imperialdramon can stop him. But he does the thing where he's like, I can't defeat him, and they all like give him his energy. And they're like, you can do it, Imperialdramon. You have to go further beyond. So Imperialdramon.
Oh, this is the power creep. Okay.
Imperialdramon does mode change and change into Imperialdramon fighter mode, where he goes from being a dragon to being a humanoid with a cannon, kind of like Omnimon. And it says in this form, he is 3 times stronger than Imperialdramon. They say that specifically. So he's able to mode change into Imperialdramon fighter mode to be strong enough to defeat Satamon.
Sure.
So to recap, Vmon.
I will accept this.
Vmon is an ancient Digimon who has learned the power of natural digivolving, which he does to digivolve into X-Vmon. Wormmon is a Digimon who can digivolve into Stingmon. Stingmon and X-Vmon DNA digivolve and turn into Paeldramon together, which is kind of an ultimate level form.
Yep.
Paeldramon can use the power of Mega Digivolving, which they got from the power of the
core.
ancient dragon
God.
core, in order to Mega Digivolve into Imperialdramon. Then Imperialdramon can use mode change in order to change into Paeldramon fighter mode
Which is 3
to become
times.
more powerful in order to defeat evil.
Okay. I can accept that as not being a different tier of power level, because as we learned from Carmen Sandiego, that it's always by a power of 10.
Sure.
That increases power
So if
level.
it's not that
3
much, it
times
doesn't
is
count.
not big enough to go to the next potential.
So
I'm
this
sure
this
will show
won't
up
come
somewhere
up in the
past 10.
series, but then in the movie that follows this, then the
The movie
if-
that's part of Digimon the movie?
no.
Oh.
Imperialdramon fighter mode tries to fight the virus. You know, the virus from the movie that we were talking about, that Omnimon
Yeah.
beat. Imperialdramon fighter mode, he's like resurrected into a new enemy that's even stronger. So Imperialdramon fighter mode tries to beat him, but he's unable to. But then he mode changes again to Imperialdramon Paladin mode. But he needs to have a powerful holy blade that can defeat the evil virus. And what is that? That's right, Omnimon, who is the DNA digivolve of Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon, who warp digivolved from Agumon and Gabumon, together form Omnimon, who together created a sword, and then
Yep.
and then Imperialdramon in Paladin form wields the sword that is Omnimon as Paladin form, and they use that to finally defeat the virus in the sequel movie to the movie that's the middle part of the movie we're talking about.
But
So there was a sequel to the virus movie.
Right.
That is not part of
But
Digimon
that's not the
movie.
third movie in the Digimon the movie. That's a different
Okay.
movie.
I'm so mad at you right now.
So you
And
get it.
I-
You get it now. So let's wrap up Digimon Adventure 2 because I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
These are all
When
the.
does that? Hold on. When does the sequel to that movie take place? then?
Okay. These like pretty recent, like afterwards. So the Digimon did all of this. Daemon is kind of the ultimate evil. Remember I said the Dark Ocean, which is like this dimension between dimensions. It's kind of this liminal space where like nothing exists
Yeah,
but
he's
evil.
going to Dark Ocean. He got like flirting with the danger of the dark.
The
over there.
evil.
Yeah, long arms.
So there's the evil guy, the human guy is called Oikawa. He was a kid who saw the digital world and then he lost his friend in an accident. His friend happened to be Cody's dad, and he got really sad and he wanted to relive his childhood and like find innocence again. So he was trying to open up a portal back to the digital world because he wants to go to the digital world and hang out with Digimon. But he's an old man now and he's evil now. So he manipulated Ken by telling him to go to the Dark Ocean and dip his Digivice inside the Dark Ocean, which turned it into the Dark Digivice,
Okay.
which is what
okay.
corrupted it. all of the dark
And
spires.
Ken has no memory of this.
Right. He's like fuzzy because he has amnesia from when he was evil because he was being controlled by the black spore, which was implanted in his head by Oikawa to turn him evil. The black spore makes you a genius and makes you good at sports. They say that specifically, but it does. But it does force you to be evil. Oikawa wants to take the black spore, which was growing inside of Ken, into its final form and implant it into a new generation of children so that they can open a portal to the digital world. Daemon wants the dark spore for unrelated reasons. He's not working with Oikawa. He's a different dark Digimon, but he wants the dark spore for evil dark purposes.
So there's two evils now.
But Daemon can open portals between the digital world and the real world, so they can't just send him back to the digital world. He'll just come back.
Because he'll just come back.
But they're able to open a portal to the Dark Ocean and send him to the Dark Ocean where he's banished forever. And so Daemon is banished to the Dark Ocean by using the power of Imperial Dramon fighter mode and the rest of the Digimon in their ultimate forms to send him back over there.
Okay, they didn't need Paladin mode for that one.
No, Paladin mode's only in the movie that we're not talking about.
Got it. Okay.
But I just want to bring it up because Omnimon turns into a sword that Paladin mode uses.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah.
Right. So he's in the Dark Ocean, and then that's it. He's done. Like that. He says, "I'll be back," but he's not back. So don't worry about him. So then we just have Oikawa, who's trying to do all this evil shit. And
Oikawa's a real man, right? Like,
Oikawa's a real man. He was friends with Cody's dad when they were kids, but Cody's dad dies. A fact that Cody brings up all the time. And he's just so annoying. He's just so annoying, and I hate it. But Oikawa wants to go back to the digital realm. So he's kind of
because when they were kids, they were digidestined,
right? And he's been like twisted by all his desires. So he's like a sad guy who is bad. So he is in a lot of ways like Ken. But he has all these plans for these children. He implants these dark spores in to try and like get them to open the digital world. And he does so, but the digidestined are able to go into the digital world and teach Oikawa that he shouldn't do that. Oikawa, by the way, manipulated Ken because Ken and his older brother got a digivice through the computer, like you get when he was younger, and Ken's older brother thought it was for him. And he's like, I'm a Digimon, don't touch my digivice. But Ken knew it was for him. But then he got in a fight with his brother over the digivice, and then his brother died in a car accident, and then he believed that it was his fault because he wished that his brother would go away so that he could have the digivice. And then Oikawa manipulated him, who also had his friend die, and was like, you should dip your digivice into the dark ocean to turn into a dark digivice, and I'm going to put the dark spore inside of you that turns you into the Digimon Kaiser so that you do all this evil stuff for me. But then eventually the power of friendship brought him back. But Oikawa also kind of had the same thing happen where he needed to have people tell him that he needed to stop being such a dick. But the limit between the digital world and the real world was already broken, and it's all gonna fall to pieces. But then Oikawa realizes that he shouldn't have been such a dick, and so he gives up his life, and he says, I will use my life force to protect the digital realm and restore everything. And so he fucking dies, and then uses his sacrifice to protect the digital realm and save it from all the evil that he caused. And then right before he died, he realized he had a Digimon partner who was just waiting for him the whole time. And even though he was an adult, his little Digi friend was like, I was waiting for you to come back. And then that made him sad. And so he sacrificed himself to save the digital realm. And the digital realm is saved.
Why does the digital realm want real human man life force? How does that work?
I don't
make any sense.
Fran, I don't want to
care.
I don't want to talk about all of Full Metal Alchemist with you right now.
No, I don't care.
That's not the digital realm.
My patience is done. CJ, where is the third fucking movie in the original fucking movie?
Very astute observation.
If it wasn't
and I've left
Paladin version.
I've left very little time to describe it. And why have I done that?
What happens?
We are now in what is called the present day version of Digimon the movie.
The movie.
The movie.
Oh no. No, don't
I
say it.
I looked up the original to try and figure out the plot of this movie as related to its original to see what they cut down and why it's bad. This movie has nothing to do with anything. It's kind of a standalone movie that just takes place with the second round of Digidestined. The older Digidestined get whisked away mysteriously, and so it's up to the younger Digidestined to save them. And they do
Okay.
so. There's an evil Digimon called Wendigomon who is translated into
Canadian?
Cocomon in the movie version. And the Digidestined all just go to save the old Digidestined. And the only thing that really comes up is that Gatomon and Patamon digivolve into Angemon and Angelwomon. And then they digivolve again. They mega digivolve into Magna Angemon and the other girl version. And then they use their power to, as they say in the movie, so the whole third part of the movie can be summed up in one quick thing that Angemon and Angelwomon say at the final fight, which you'll now understand the whole thing. We're going to use our power to summon the golden digi eggs, which will allow you to golden digivolve and defeat this enemy. So they use their power to summon the golden digi eggs, which brings back the golden digi egg of miracles that we used earlier to golden digivolve Vmon into Magnamon. And then they come up with a new golden digi egg that the character who only appears in the movie, Willis, who there's no mention of Willis anywhere else. He's talked a lot in the movies because they're trying to make the movies make sense by like arcing them together. Even though, again, this last movie, nothing to do with the other two. And then the two of them golden digivolve into Magnamon and Rapidmon, and then they fight Cocomon, who's called Wendigomon in the movie, and then they beat him. And then that frees the previous Digidestined. And that's what the last part of the movie's about. There's no like tie-ins with any of the other DNA digivolving or any of the. There's just armor digivolving.
Why didn't they put the Paladin version in there?
Because that's a different movie.
Mode.
They had to get
Why?
to because if you recall, Fran, they made this movie before Digimon Adventure 2 was completely over, so they probably didn't even have Imperialdramon at that point. In fact, Magnamon, whatever Vmon's golden digivolve version was probably the strongest one they had. That's why they reused that one. So that's why. The third one doesn't really matter. With all you need to really know is about digivolving, and then the golden egg digivolve. And then the rest of that stuff is just stuff I thought was funny.
All right, CJ, you win.
That's the story. Do you understand now the story of Digimon : the movie?
I understand that I wanted to know more about Digimon because we didn't leave off with the complete story, and you have punished me for it. You've hurt me as retribution for asking for more Digimon.
I pared down the Digimon Adventure 2 stuff a lot. It's incredibly confusing, and the Dark Ocean comes up a lot, and it just doesn't matter, really. And like Kari keeps getting teleported to the Dark Ocean because she's holding sadness in her heart, and she's the one of light, and it's like the opposite. And like and the Dragon Digimon explains that light, he like gives a canonical reason why the light and hope ones are different, because he's like, although all the Digimentals are special, the Digimentals of light and hope are most special, because with the light, you'll always be able to drive out the darkness, and with hope, you will always be able to find the light. And that is why you guys can do both Digivolutions, and also why yours are different. And as long as you get your ring back and also use my power. But the creation, I think the creation of Imperialdramon fighter mode, and then again in the movie that we're not really talking about where he goes Imperialdramon Paladin mode, is sort of the apex of why Digimon don't really make sense too good.
I hated this.
That's the story of Digimon Adventure 2. And you know, I think that's the story of our episode. I think it's time to thank all of you Digidestined, for hanging with us to learn more about the digital world. We are all digidestined, as we learned, as long as we believe in Digimon and have a toy
and
you can buy
purchase
at this.
Digimon products.
This does. Sorry, I do have a question.
What is your question, Fran? A little final thought.
If the okay, so the whole marketing thing, everybody who buys a Digi device
Is a digidestined.
Is a digidestined.
Right.
Why the fuck didn't Oikawa just buy a fucking Digi device?
They
from the store
in
and
this
become a
in this
digidestined?
world, you know, you're kind of chosen by the computer. Fran.
Oh,
Remember I
have I
said
done?
when Omnimon fought and all those kids saw him at once, and then it was like kind of like a thing,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
put a pin in that.
yeah.
Yoli and a bunch of other kids witnessed the fight between Omnimon and the virus in the
Mhm.
movie. Yoli eventually would become a digidestined. Tai and Kari saw the fight between the Agumon that they had when they were little kids and the Parrotmon from the very beginning of the movie. The kids that witness these events unfold become the digidestined.
Oh, so every child who was watching that computer screen during the movie
In the movie, the one with Omnimon, Yoli is there as a younger kid watching the fight unfold, and then she's revealed in Digimon Adventure 2 to be one of the digidestined. All of these kids that have a run-in with Digimon become digidestined. So by that extension, you guys are digidestined because I had a run-in with Digimon, and then I introduced you to Digimon, and then you guys become digidestined, and now everyone listening to this is a digidestined now. That is how it works.
Unless you're an evil old man.
In which case, you still can become a digidestined, but you do have to turn from your ways.
I legitimately have a headache. I'm hurting right now.
Thank you everyone for listening to our episode about Digimon. Hey, if you really liked this, go ahead, like the video, rate it highly, share it with your friends, make it go as viral as the fight between Omnimon and the virus Digimon, whose name I always forget. And please check us out at other of our platforms. We're on twitch.tv/cookingwithspices. We're on YouTube, Cooking with Spices. You can find us with the tag @spiceswith. We're at Twitter @spiceswith. We do all sorts of stuff. We just did a stream the other day. It was fun. It's funny. Check us out. Have fun with us. But also stay tuned because we have more episodes in store for you guys. Thank you, Galestorm Kitsune, for doing our channel artwork, and thank you, Pajo, for the intro and outro to the podcast. Guys, this is the part where it's so good because all those levels I explained to you in words have to happen sequentially in the show in order for that Digimon to exist, which means you get to watch two Digimon digivolve into champion, and then watch those two Digimon DNA digivolve into the next level, and then watch that Digimon Mega Digivolve into the next level, and then watch that Digimon mode change into the next level. So it's about 5 straight minutes of canned animation cutscenes where they're just playing it back to back. And this is why it's crazy. The psychotic part is that the whole time it plays the Digimon song, but there's this high-pitched squealing that happens in the background like a tea kettle going off in every song. It's like, and it's constantly playing the whole time, driving me insane. Every single person who listens to the Digimon has to go insane or get tinnitus. There's no other way around it.
I'm really hoping that we just kind of like faded out on that rant there to the credits.
Well, no, because we have to say I've been CJ.
I don't think we have to say I've been Ethan.
And I've been Fran.
Digimon.
So is Gundramon, because ancient Digimon have always existed, so is Gundramon, did he inspire guns to exist, or did guns like he wrote
the Second Amendment to the Constitution?